Housing and Urban Development in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Now shot right on by Lafreniere on a little give and go with Zibanejad and Kochetkov. That is his best save by far in the first 7 minutes and 55 seconds. This will be chopped out. Here comes Jarvis with speed. Empty net. Jarvis, bingo! Seth Jarvis, his 8th of the year. And it's a 3-0 Canes lead. And the city that never sleeps might want to get a bed check.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin along for the ride today. Victoria on assignment. It's Wednesday. When I was a kid growing up, all the doctors that lived, not in my neighborhood, because I didn't live in a neighborhood that had a lot of doctors, but that were at my dad's golf club, they never worked Wednesdays. I think Victoria is a secret MD. Max has nothing to say about that. How are you, Max?
Pretty good after that win last night.
Yeah, it was very good. Victoria should be here to gloat in it with us. I apparently left a lot of money on the table last night. That's what I'm. Let's see. Under 5.5. Well, I didn't pick a Canes win. Under 5.5. Shesterkin over 25.5 saves.
There you go.
Kochetkov over 22.5 saves.
Somehow got there, even though he didn't face a shot for 20 minutes a game.
I'm telling you, I didn't bet it, so which is bad for me because it was plus 510. I hope you did bet it because that 3-leg parlay has a pretty good return. But I was sitting there going, do I need Kochetkov to get 25.5 saves? Because he was on 24 forever. The 25th was not even a shot. It was just a puck that rolled in on net. And if the goalie wasn't there, it would have gone in. So must have been a save. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Before we get going today, it occurs to me, Max, that you are a Manchester City supporter.
That's correct.
I am a Liverpool supporter. We have beef this weekend.
Are we? They're finally playing this weekend. Is that? I don't.
Don't even pretend to not know.
I don't keep enough track of the upcoming schedule. I just kind of more so it gets to the weekend and I'm like, okay, who are they playing this morning? If I'm up, because honestly, if it's a 7:30 a.m. game,
those are the only games I can watch.
See, I'm not up for that. But it looks like it's a Sunday 11:30 start. So actually, I'll be conscious for that.
There's no chance of me seeing it when it's that late in the morning. The 7:30s I get. I'm all over the 7:30s because it's before everything happens. I get up, make a pot of coffee, boom, I'm there. I always love the promos where they would show people getting up at 5 in the morning to watch the Premier League. Where do you live? They're not on.
I like when it's the Sunday 11th because it leads perfectly into NFL Sunday, like the one last Sunday against Bournemouth. I was watching that one. Holland had another great game in that one. I don't know if you've seen the statistical breakdown of the goals for Man City in Premier League.
They're all Holland.
Yeah, Holland has 13, and then there's 4 or 5 other guys that have 1.
No, it's just not. It's it's sustainable as long as he's healthy. I do wonder what happens if he comes up with a knock.
He's a robot though, so
he's unbelievable.
Robots don't get hurt.
He is unbelievable. I will say this, guys. I've often thrown some shade on Erling Haaland. His overall game, his contributions out of possession, way better now than they were last year, the year before. Way better. He is a much more complete player than he's been. So no joke. He's an amazing player. I used to look at him only as a goal scorer. He's way more than that. He had he won more defensive headers in the first 5 or 6 matches for them than any of their guys who played defense.
If you're a guy that's his size, you got to get up there and get ahead
but
on the ball.
That's new. That's a new thing that he's throwing in. So he is, concentrating more on that end, and that's good. Good for him. All right, that was a little self-serving.
Yeah.
I'm excited because Liverpool's won 2 in a row. We stunk for 5 weeks.
City's been off to a good start too. I thought at the end of last season that that might kind of be it for them as being contenders. But
it is.
They're second there to Arsenal, so they just got to.
Where nobody's catching them.
Well, just wait until they play each other. That can be a big turning point in terms of the points.
Well, you've already played them.
Really? See, that shows. You thought I was pretending I didn't know what was going on. I'm very casual when it comes to.
And Liverpool's already played Arsenal
this.
too. Liverpool beat Arsenal, but essentially, Arsenal will bore the rest of the Premier League to sleep, and it's over. Arsenal's the best team.
Right, it was.
They are the best team.
Nah, I do kind of remember watching this now.
Yeah, Arsenal's the best team.
Can you believe I used to work for the soccer station at Sirius XM?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh man, should we get in touch with Tom Rennie? I can hook up with Tom Rennie.
Love Tom, man.
Tom is the best.
Neil Barnett and all the fellas over there.
Yeah, they're good. It's a fun channel to listen to. All right. I just wanted to get that in because you're a city. I figured we could talk smack to each other, but you're not even paying attention.
I'm too locked in. There's too much going on over here. This
right.
Basketball season starting.
It did last night.
The Panthers are in the
nights ago.
playoff hunt. Like, come on now.
All right. You just said that out loud, so now we got to address it.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
All right, so we'll do that part first because I was going to do the Canes first, but now that you just mentioned to everybody that the Panthers are in the playoff hunt, I think we have to talk about it. All right, so let me just say they are because right now, if you go to what ESPN has, if you go to their standings and you click playoffs, the Panthers are 9th. And they're only a half game out of a playoff spot right now. Right? Who's in front of them? Chicago and Detroit are each, I think, 5 and 3. They're each 5 and 3.
5 and 3.
The Panthers are 5 and 4. By the way, trade deadline came and went. Panthers didn't move anyone in or out, and that's proper. There's really nobody I would want to see them trade because who knows how close they are to actually being viable, but I think the division will give them a chance. Maybe not this year because I do think Tampa is significantly better, but you just don't know. So the Panthers, even in a little bit of a slow build, you could win that division next year. Anyway, Saints come to town on Sunday, and it is worth pointing out that we are into November, and the Panthers are, by record, listed among in the hunt. And that is a new thing for Panthers fans. It's been since 2019. Like the last time they were over 500 this time of the year, it was 2019. It's a long time ago. And it was the Jake Allen salad days, right? With Jake Allen was Taylor Heineke also?
Yeah, Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen. Not who's Jake Allen? Did I make up a player?
Jake Allen is the goaltender for the backup
Oh,
goaltender for the
but
New
he was
Jersey
a good
Devils.
quarterback for the Panthers too, back in the day. So it's been a minute. So the Panthers and their fans should enjoy the games that maybe we didn't think would matter, but will matter. And this week it's the Saints, and I'll allow you to dream. Next week it's a trip to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, who are one of the true, I can't figure out why they're bad teams in the league. I didn't think they'd be great.
I can figure out why they're bad. Michael Penix.
Is he that bad?
I think so.
Okay. I remember everybody loving Michael Penix. I do. I mean, I haven't watched them enough, but there are other reasons. Like, you go back to the game where they lost to Carolina here. they got beat 30-0. And I left that game going, I'm not really sure the Panthers played all that well. They just allowed Atlanta to lose the game. And this is not, they have done this a few times this year. Remember, this is a team that beat Buffalo. Come on. Yes, I know it was in Atlanta. Buffalo came to Carolina and sleptwalked through what was that final score?
40-9.
They were asleep during that game. That was 6-3 in the second quarter. Like it could have gone the other way, but it could have been a lot more interesting the way they were treating it. And then it's like, no. Accelerator, we were done.
I'm not the biggest proponent of Michael Penix, but I would take him over the current state of Andy Dalton for sure.
Andy Dalton.
Especially with a broken thumb.
Yes. Andy Dalton with a broken thumb, not better than Michael Penix. So anyway, I still think the Panthers' ceiling is 9 wins. And that is with, you got to beat Tampa.
Some good breaks are needed to get to 9
wins.
Yeah, more than likely, yeah.
So even if they win the next 2, it gets you to 7-4. Are you winning in San Francisco? Probably not.
It's a tough stretch right now for Tampa, too, in terms of their upcoming opponents. They got a home game against New England this week. Then they go to Buffalo.
You're looking at the division?
Yeah, and then they go to the Rams. So it's a tough 3-game stretch for Tampa, and we know how they've been kind of banged up, especially on offense.
Yeah, the wide receiver core is just shot.
Although they have Ibuka, who is my fantasy godsend, or at least early in the season, although he hasn't been putting up as good of numbers as of late.
Well, because he's the only guy now.
Yeah. Well, Evans came back, though, did he? No, then he got
re-injured. I think he's out.
Yeah. But it's a tough stretch upcoming for them. The end of their schedule for Tampa is pretty soft. Cardinals, Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers. So...
Oh, man, they get 2 automatic wins with the... No, I'm kidding. No, you don't know what Week 18 is going to bring, right? Because the Buccaneers might be completely, sewn up. We know where we're going to be. We know we won the division 4 weeks ago. Who knows what that game's going to hold? And, they might rest everybody. They might be playing Steve Spurrier at quarterback at that point.
This stretch right now, this is the time for the Panthers. If they really want to compete for the division, this is when you have to play.
And I don't think it's about the division.
At least for the wild card, this is when you got to take advantage and stay in the hunt.
Right. If they fancy themselves playoff caliber, I don't, but it's all right. Doesn't matter. They have to win these 2 games. You got to beat the Saints. You got to go to Atlanta and beat the Falcons, or let the Falcons beat themselves. And then there are some stealable games. A couple of weeks ago, I said, I think the 49er game is a winnable game for a couple of reasons. Is there a team more beset with injuries in the entire league than San Francisco? I don't know how many wide receivers they've got left. They're out Fred Warner. Isn't Bosa out too? I think they're completely decimated by injury. Mac Jones is a loss waiting to happen at quarterback. Christian McCaffrey's been awesome. But there's not that many available bodies left for them. So I thought that game was winnable. The Rams is not. I don't care where that game is played. That game could be played in Dave Canales' basement. That is not a winnable game. I think the Rams might be the best team in the league. Actually, I had them as top 5, bottom 5, number 1. They're awesome. And frankly, the Rams, the 2 losses very easily could have been wins. Really easily. They had a blocked field goal that would have beaten the Eagles, and it goes the other way for a touchdown. So that score looks different than it really was. They had a big lead that they blew in that game, too. And the other loss was at home to San Francisco, in which their field goal kicker blew the game. And they really could be 8-0. They are that good. But anyway, good for Panthers fans to have meaningful football to watch, even Thanksgiving weekend. I think it's pretty exciting. All right, let me get to last night. The Canes stifled the Rangers in New York. There's really no other way to put it. I thought Carolina was very good defensively. I thought they did the bare minimum offensively. Not by choice. It was once again not a game that was chock full of, how was that not a goal? There were very few moments like that for Carolina. They score both of their goals off face-off plays. You and I, Max, because we've already started the show talking about Man City and Liverpool, set pieces. 2 set-piece goals. Right off the face-off. Aho wins the draw on the power play. Walker gets it to Ehlers, shoots through a screen, goal. Jankowski wins a face-off, gets it back to Riley. Riley gives it to Walker, shoots through a screen, goal. So easy. Why don't they do that 8 times a game? I felt like I was watching Arsenal last night. Anyway, the Hurricanes relied on Pyotr Kochetkov making his first start, and he was absolutely brilliant for 30 minutes. Here's Rod Brindamore talking about the first period storm.
Well, that was the difference, I think, right off the bat. He had, first period, a lot of testy ones, and just allowed us to just settle in, and then, after that we played great. I don't know how many shots we gave up. I think 9 the rest of the game, and 1 in the third. That's really good, but game goes totally different if they capitalize.
Yeah, it does. But he makes great saves on Panarin, Miller, Cooley, Soucy. There were so many really good scoring chances for the Rangers in the first period and early in the second period. And Kochetkov just, he allowed the puck to hit him. There weren't many, wow, what an amazing save. But for Pyotr, sometimes simply being in position and reading the play, which is what I think he did last night really well, that's half the battle for him. He's naturally really gifted. And when he is calm and he's not frantic and all over the place, he's that much better. And I know we were all kind of holding our breath in the third period, when is the bad goal coming? Because that was the downfall last year. He would allow a bad goal, sometimes two, and it would derail everything. But he was excellent last night. And it was cool? Nick Ehlers. He finally, game 12 for Nick Ehlers. Here's the head coach.
I think it's been solid all year. He should have had more, action in the point department, but nice for him to get off that. Now he can kind of relax and hopefully settle in, and he's going to be here for a long time. We need him to be contributing.
Yeah, it's no joke. It's about time. It's about time he got his first goal. He shot the puck a lot last night, and that one, I think he was probably surprised that was a goal. But there was a great screen in front by Jarvis, and it goes off the inside of the far post.
In terms of production for his kind of starting stretch, is honestly a little bit reminiscent of when Mikko Rantanen played for the Hurricanes, in that he was generating chances. It was just a lot of bad puck luck, and the finishing wasn't quite there. The only difference is Nikolai Ehlers signed here and wants to be on the Hurricanes, and Mikko Rantanen didn't. But now he's finally on the board, and hopefully it's going to start coming in bunches after he finally broke through.
Appreciate the shade thrown Rantanen. And here's I will just offer this bit of counter to that. I thought in Rantanen's first, maybe not the first game or two, but in the 4 or so games before, they missed the last game before Four Nations, right? But in the 4 or 5 games before sitting out that last one, he and Jackson Blake, honestly, should have combined for 3 goals a game. There were too many grade A scoring chances that those two guys created for each other. I've talked to Jackson about this because he remembers it too. Because Jackson was getting nothing out of it. He wasn't even getting assists. They were not getting anything. And there were posts hit. There were nets missed. No joke, some of it was on them. But also, they were robbed a ton. And I thought those two guys specifically had created a lot of chemistry that Sebastian Aho sadly wasn't a part of. But it just didn't go. And then when we came back from Four Nations, Miko had completely checked out. We could pretend all day long that he didn't, but he did. And, that's human nature. He had already made a decision that he wasn't going to be here.
I'll never forget the last game before the trade deadline.
Against Boston.
They played Boston.
They beat Boston that night in spite of him.
Yeah, it looked like he just had zero intention of playing any hockey that
Well, he shouldn't
that
have played. That wasn't his fault. The Hurricanes, who knew they were trying to trade him, they should have held him out of the lineup, but they didn't. And he played the game clearly trying to not get injured. He stayed away from everything. So, and again, that is not me blaming him. That really is I think the organization's fault. They should not have put him on the ice. But yeah, when he came back from Four Nations, it wasn't going to happen because he was not interested in being here, and he knew the organization was actively trying to move it. So, there you go. Good win, really good win. Congratulations to Jordan Staal, 909 games with the Hurricanes, tied for first all-time with the Hurricanes with his brother, Eric. Who was Eric traded to from the Hurricanes, Max?
The New York Rangers.
Right. Who did he play for the following year and for a few years after that?
The Minnesota Wild.
Who's here tomorrow?
The Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, that's weird. By the way, after Minnesota, he went to Buffalo, right? Buffalo's here Saturday.
Yeah.
Actually, it might have been Montreal first, then Buffalo.
No, I think it was Buffalo
Was
first.
it Buffalo first, then Montreal?
I'm pretty sure.
Played with Montreal during the crazy pandemic year where Montreal ends up in the Stanley Cup Finals, even though they had the 17th best record in the sport.
Yeah, Buffalo, then Montreal, and then Florida. Are they playing Florida after Buffalo?
No, they're not.
I haven't looked that
they're
far
messing
ahead on
it
the
up.
schedule.
Toronto. They're playing Toronto after Buffalo. They completely screwed up the Jordan Staal beating your brother at everything tour. All right. College football. Should we mention the fact that Duke won by 15? Didn't play their best offensive game. They didn't shoot it really well. Cam Boozer didn't play. I think it was 3 of 12 from the field. But Duke got to the free throw line. Boozer was fouled 10 times last night. Just shows you how much they're going to use him.
He's going to put up some monster stat lines this year.
Oh, he's a double-double walking.
It was, I know it sounds kind of weird to say, but it was only 15 points and 13 rebounds for him last night. And that's just because nothing was falling for him in terms of shots in the first half.
Oh, he was fouled all night.
Yeah, and it's clear that he's not afraid to go and get his shots and generate his own offense. So I wouldn't be surprised. We saw him get a 24 and 23 in that exhibition against Tennessee.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if he puts up multiple 20-20 games this year.
How much fun is triangle basketball going to be this year?
It's going to be so good. It's like classic ACC levels of basketball going on here.
I'm looking forward to these three. I'm looking forward to seeing Louisville. I know there will be other teams as well to kind of rise up, but really excited about what we're going to see here in the 919. By the way, credit to the state women winning at Tennessee.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. It was in Greensboro against Tennessee.
Neutral site.
That's that's awesome. Tennessee's good. Wolfpack are good. I know Duke didn't win in France, but they're going to be good this year. Carolina's going to be good. We have another great year of triangle women's basketball too. So we are quite fortunate about that. College football playoff rankings came out last night, and yes, people are mad. Why? Why would you be mad, people? It's fake. What we saw yesterday, what I'm writing about, listing now, fake. It doesn't count. Don't get mad. Don't even read anything into it.
Yeah, the real rankings don't come out for a month.
Please. Oh, how is Notre Dame ahead of Miami? What happened? Wait, it doesn't count. If Miami, if Louisville, if Georgia Tech take care of business, there will be no complaining necessary. There'll be if Miami finishes 10-2, they don't play in the ACC championship game. I feel pretty confident that when we really look at it, Miami's resume will look better than Notre Dame's at the end of the season. All right? But right now it doesn't. Actually, it kind of does, but Notre Dame hasn't lost since then, and Miami has lost twice, even though Miami has lost to wait a second, two teams that could very well meet for the ACC title. It didn't help Miami last year, by the way. They lost to two good teams, but they lost the last game of the regular season. So, and it's popular. We can just
the recency bias is
pee
real
on the ACC
when it comes to the CFP. But
right.
Honestly, what I kind of took away from it, and again, there's only so much that you should read into.
No,
the first
zero.
Yeah,
there was zero.
But I think
the
ACC actually, and we were just talking about how we're excited for ACC basketball this year. But the ACC, in terms of football, actually has quite a handful of good teams this year. That
Five
are actually,
teams in the ranking.
Yeah, that are getting a decent amount of national respect. Now they don't have any that are up at the very top.
No,
because every team has at least one loss, thanks to NC State beating Georgia Tech last weekend. But even besides that, I think teams are kind of getting some national respect from outside of the ACC, which is not something we've seen a lot of in recent years. So ACC trending up for sure. It's just got to avoid getting those tricky losses to really get up to the top, the upper echelon of the CFP rankings.
Yeah, I mean, Louisville's got two good wins. They have one acceptable loss to Virginia. Then they play Clemson and SMU on the road. I mean, if Louisville wins out, Louisville will be fine. One loss. If they're 11-1 in the ACC title game, I think they're going to be in the playoff. I do. I think they're going to be in the playoff if they win out. So we can stop bitching about this, please. Although we'll bitch about it with Chip Patterson coming up later. Joe Person from The Athletic on the In the Hunt Carolina Panthers. Next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
For the Panthers, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. If it's Andy Dalton, if it's Bryce Young, if it's hurt Bryce Young, Hendon Hooker, whoever it is, it comes down to one thing. The team isn't good enough to overcome turnovers. Protect the football. Whether your ankle's hurt or not, don't turn it over and let the defense and running game do the rest.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Adam Gold here from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. I think I've told you that he invented the no closing cost mortgage back in 1987. He did. And a lot of people lately have been copying it, sort of. But they don't know the formula. They don't have the secret sauce. They're doing things like rolling closing costs into the loan amount. We don't want that. You don't want to finance closing cost. You're already financing a mortgage. Why would you add to it if you didn't have to? And you don't have to. Here's what you do. Go to MillerLending.com. Find out all about how the original no closing cost mortgage is your best option. It will save you thousands in the long run. It has saved me over $50,000 in 11 different mortgages I've had with Miller Lending. So do that. Save your money. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary. An equal housing lender. NMLS ID 250-2146.
Holiday scratch-offs, what a gift. It lets them dream just for a bit.
Ski trip, cruise ship, sports car, pristine yard, courtside seats, fancy meats, holiday scratch-offs can't be beat.
Give the gift of what if from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.19 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday night football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health friendly workplace.
Whether we're a CEO, manager,
coworker,
or someone with a mental health condition ourselves.
So what can I do to help?
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Is going to your local bar the worst part of your day? The bartender ignores you, mediocre food, warm beer? Then why go there? Take 5 minutes and drop in at Sharky's, where they'll give you a free evaluation, and you can learn about all the bars that you shouldn't go to. Sharky's has helped thousands find the right bar to hang at. What are you waiting for? Sharky's evaluation could be the cure to the worst part of your day. Change your bar, change your life. Sharky's, 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
This is Adam Gold.
We're going to have Seth on the show next week when he gets back from vacation. He was by a pool. What are you doing? Get off Twitter.
It's nicer to be on Twitter when you're by a pool anyway.
No, just stop engaging with people.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max, what's this guy's name? Do you know it?
Carolina Mike.
Carolina Mike. I saw this. I have no idea who Carolina Mike is, but I saw this on, it's a TikTok, but I saw it on Twitter. Even though I'm a prolific TikToker now, Max. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm not. I have to get more consistent, putting out little Canes videos. But anyway, that's Carolina Mike, and it was epic after the win. They are now 5-4 with the Saints coming to town. Joe Person from The Athletic, what is it like right now to cover? Do you even remember how to cover a playoff juggernaut?
I'll tell you, like, listen to your bumper music and other stuff on social media. Like, fans are, I don't want to say coming out of the woodwork. They've always been there, but they're like proud again. Like they're not embarrassed to, like, strut their stuff, and that's kind of cool for this fan base to see, because they have endured a lot.
Yeah.
Starting really when Cam got hurt in 2018 from that Thursday night Pittsburgh game, and it has been kind of a slow. Sometimes not slow, but just a decline over the last 7 years of playoff-less football. And so good for this organization, good for this fan base especially, to be relevant again and feeling good about themselves.
Joe Person from The Athletic, at Joseph Person on Twitter, is joining us here. Panthers will host the Saints. I just found a friend of mine just sent me this number. The Panthers have not won a game as a favorite in 4 years. Week 3 of 2021 was the last time the Panthers won a game as a favorite. It was a Sam Darnold event in Houston against the Texans. That was the last time they have won a game as a favorite. They did not go off as favorites against the Jets. I thought they had. What was the most important, the most notable thing for you coming out of the Green Bay game? What allowed them to win that game?
Just a smart game plan, one that Micah Parsons called boring football. And like, I get it. I mean, it was not, easy for him to say. He couldn't get to the quarterback because they were doing 3-step drops and, one tick, maybe 2 ticks, and get the ball out. And so they were not giving Micah the opportunity. Dave Canales was not giving Micah the opportunity to impact the game like he had. His last, what was it? His last 2 games against Carolina, obviously at the Cowboy, he'd had 2 sacks and 2.5 sacks, and really had pretty much ripped up the game plan and ripped up with it, ripped up the Panthers' chances to win. So I applaud Dave Canales for, going to Rico Dowdle early and often. I think, and honestly, I am not of the group or the population that thinks he should have done it 2 weeks ago. I think he handled the Rico and Chuba thing pretty adroitly, actually, because Chuba is a dude that was 1,100-yard rusher last year. He's all these things. They just paid him. He's a very popular player in that locker room. So you give it 2 weeks to see if the two-headed tailback would work. It didn't. Now I think it's going to be Rico's show with some Chuba mixed in, unless or until Rico, gets injured, which a lot of these running backs, by the way, do.
Here's gosh, I never disagree with Joe Person, and I only partially disagree. I still would have gone 2 running backs, but I would have just made Rico the 1 of that, and then Chuba the 2, because I think Chuba even said it after 2 weeks. He said, I'm good with whatever's best for the team. Like, they had a relationship with Chuba, maybe not Dave Canales, because Canales hasn't been here. He wasn't here when Chuba was backing up. But it was pretty obvious that Rico was so hot that you had to ride it. That was my only criticism of Canales, that they should have been giving him the ball first and letting Chuba come in and get every third series or something like that, because that's basically what they were kind of doing beforehand, just in the opposite direction. And I have not really complimented Dave Canales a lot in the last 2 years. There hasn't been a lot to compliment him on. But taking the ball, choosing the wind, sucking the fun out of the game plan by limiting possessions for Green Bay, not allowing their offense to get going, which to me, they were very impatient. Like, there was no reason for them to go for it on 4th and 8 early in the fourth quarter. Just take your 3 points. But I think they fooled the Packers into thinking that they weren't going to get the ball again.
No, that's a great point. And you're right. I think we saw both Matt LaFleur, but also Jordan Love get a little impatient.
Yep.
Like, a couple of his throws were just awful. I mean, like, it was in such stark contrast to his game a week earlier against the Steelers, where he's completed 20 in a row. I mean, it was, and I thought that was among the reasons I thought, I don't think this is going to be the year the Panthers pull the upset. But Jordan Love, you make a great point, my friend. He got a little antsy. He throws the one ball just completely up for grabs, threw another one up for grabs, which I think the wind might have played a factor in that. Mike Jackson, for all, really could have had a chance at a long interception return had he caught it. So that game really didn't even need to be as close as it was for the Panthers, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, and look, I'm a big fan of the Packers. I'm a big fan of Jordan Love. But they looked a little bit not ready for prime time. And that's not the first time that they have done that. They played with their food against Cleveland earlier in the season, and a bad break, a blocked kick, and they get beat. The Packers' record should be a lot better. The tie at Dallas is another game you go, how is Green Bay doing this? Because I think they're better than that, but maybe. And honestly, football's just hard. It's hard to win, and sometimes we don't give it enough credit. Joe Person from The Athletic. Let's talk about the improvement on the defensive side of the ball, because we spend so much time talking about Rico Dowdle and Bryce Young and why isn't the offense more prolific. I actually think it's all by design right now. They're doing as little as they have to do to get by. But the defense has improved. What areas have you seen that have allowed Carolina to rely on that just a little bit more, at least when they're not playing Buffalo?
Well, I want to talk about run defense, but I want to give credit to a unit. Like when we talk about run defense, and you and I have before, and Derek Brown's return, Turk Wharton's addition, and also Trayvon Merrick's addition. Those have really been the keys. But you know what I think's been undersold a little bit are these inside linebackers. I'm talking about Trevin Wallace and especially Christian Roseboom.
Yeah.
I mean, in Roseboom, I didn't know much about him, but he had ties to Ejiro Evero from the Rams. where he basically was a starter last year for most of the season due to injury, and they were not expecting him to be a starter here. If you remember,
right,
they had Josie Jewell and Trevin Wallace returning as returning starters at inside linebacker. Josie Jewell shows up to camp. Little did we know, over the offseason, he had never cleared the concussion protocol. He is released/retired, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And Roseboom, it took him a little bit to get going. Weirdly, when they started giving, when they traded the green dot and let Wallace start calling the defensive signals, it seemed to free up Roseboom. I mean, he's doing things now not seen, and I'm not putting him at Luke Kuechly's level. I am not. But when you are starting to at least get mentioned, like the most recent stat, two games in a row with 12-plus tackles, not done since 2016 by this franchise when it was Luke. So that's just I think we all kind of dumped on them early in the season when things weren't looking good. But Wallace and Roseboom have both played pretty well.
First of all, I knew where you were going with the Luke. We could have gone just A.J. Klein because they both wear the same number, right?
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I'm sure if somebody went through my tweets, they would see me saying, is 56 an NFL player? Not a starter. Is he an NFL player? And yes, I actually have written down, when they took the green dot and gave it to Trevin Wallace, Christian Roseboom's a different player. Just reacting and playing on instincts. He looks faster, and he has been a big key. The pass defense has been very good. Jackson's been good. You've got J.C. Horn, elite and healthy. Merrick's been good. So their secondary has not been, bad, and it has allowed especially the young edge rushers, they have been good. It's been fun to watch. I don't think they're a great defense, but they didn't have to be a great defense. They're a good defense. And right now, the game plan is such, and I do give Canales a lot of credit for that. Now, how do they handle this pressure of a game you're favored in? Not that the betting line matters, but you're supposed to win. How do you handle this pressure of this before we even look ahead to what's next?
Yeah, it's such a unique position for this franchise, that as you said. I think they'll be fine. Canales is a pretty. We know about the positivity, but he also somehow manages to rein it in check. Like I think he'll set the message. Probably already did it Monday. He did give them their first victory Monday, but even that, like, the players were like, well, it really isn't much different because we had to lift, and most of us, kind of came in and did that anyway. So, at any rate, I think Bryce Young has the right attitude in terms of not getting, as we used to say, us oldies, not reading your press clippings. But no, I do. It is fascinating. The Saints are obviously awful, and the quarterback situation is really bad. So, if the Panthers hang on to the ball and don't do stupid things like turn it over and commit penalties, which, by the way, that was another thing that helped them win on Sunday. Like, they had fewer penalties than the Packers did in one of the NFL's most hostile environments. So I think they're okay, but it's a great question you asked, and I'm fascinated by this second half of the season where, 6 of the teams beginning last week at Green Bay, like 6 of the teams are that they face in these last 9 games are currently, set to make the playoffs.
Yep.
And the last 3 games against Baker Mayfield, against Sam Darnold, against Baker again. Like, that is just awesome theater.
No doubt about it. And 2 of those games will be at Bank of America Stadium, which is even better. Oh, man. Joe Person from The Athletic covers the Panthers at Joseph Person on Twitter. My friend, I appreciate your time. We'll talk to you again very soon.
All right, buddy. Have a great week.
You too. Joe Person here on the Adam Gold Show. Think about that. And Chad, who my friend back in sales, sent me that note. Have not won a game as a favorite in 4 years.
How many games have they been favored in since
10.
then? That is the shockingest part of
That they've been
stat
favored
to
10
me.
times?
That they've been favored 10 times since 2021.
That's a good point. Probably early in the season at home. But 0 for 10? Just winning the game. 0 for 10. Forget about covering. Have not won a game.
They did open as favorites against the Jets this year, but it did move to the Jets favored there
1.5
by kickoff, which I still didn't really understand. But
no, because the Jets are awesome.
Awesome at acquiring assets.
Like on the low, what they did was what more teams should do, but you're embarrassed to do it. Like, I'm sure, not having monitored what's going on WFAN in New York, right? I'm sure there are a lot of people who are mad that they traded their 2 best defensive players. You trade Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, and Gardner's not having his best year, but he's an all-pro cornerback. And Quinnen Williams also maybe not having his best season, although he looked awesome against the Panthers, I thought. To me, you trade those 2 guys, you're punting. And obviously they're 1-7. 1-7. They've already punted. But you're really punting on next year because those are 2 guys that were going to be big pieces of next year's team. But the fact that they received 3 first-round picks and a second-round pick and 2 players. You get a wide receiver in Adonai Mitchell, who was highly thought of coming out of Texas. I have no idea about Miza, the defensive tackle. Never heard of him before. But you got a player from Dallas as well. The fact that you could do that starts your rebuild. The Jets will have, I think, 3 first-round picks in each of the next 2 years. Or they have 4 first-round picks total over the next 2 drafts. That's awesome. Yeah, because they'll have 2 this year. I can't even add. But yeah, they're building draft capital. Frankly, they should have traded Breece Hall, and they should have traded Garrett Wilson. But I think they have decided that Garrett Wilson is definitely part of the future, even the immediate future. And I think Breece Hall is going to leave as a free agent after this year.
There was a lot of I don't know if it was rumors, but like people said it would be a good fit. Like the Chiefs should have tried to trade for Breece Hall.
There's
that would have made a lot of
16 teams that should have tried to trade for Breece Hall.
A lot of teams, and he's a good talent, and I feel like they haven't fully utilized his abilities there.
He's one of the best running backs in football. He's dual threat. He's as big a threat catching the ball as he is running.
I wish he had gotten traded because, again, that's another player I have in fantasy football. And
now they're going to load him up.
He still plays for the Jets. I mean, you'd think they'd be doing that a lot of the year so far. He's had one huge game, and I had him on the bench. So,
all right, we got to stretch. No, we don't have to stretch. We're going to have one-timers. I always forget the format of the show, Max. Max Gordon is sitting in for Victoria. I'm Adam Gold. One-timers is next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and it's never too early to talk about Thursday night football and getting a share of $2 million worth of bonus bets. And here's how you do it. Pick an anytime touchdown scorer from the Broncos-Raiders game Thursday night, and if your guy scores the first or last touchdown, Brock Bowers, Cortland Sutton, you win your bet plus a share of $2 million worth of bonus bets. All you got to do is play. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS for bonus bets. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus is issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
We had to exit the home pretty quickly because of how quickly the water came in. It was just really vital to me whenever all the public service announcements were going out, that we needed to get our water tested.
We need to, get in the field and start helping people disinfect their water supplies.
It's really critical to their health to be able to have that safe drinking water.
They were reaching out to me to make sure that I knew that there were resources available.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
From the food we eat to the clothes we wear, agriculture touches every corner of our daily lives. I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University. With the world's population growing, we need people equipped and trained to meet the needs of our future. In our program, we rise to meet that challenge every day, and our students are engaged and invested. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we dive into a project that's making big waves in Charlotte and beyond. It's called The Pearl, a bold reimagining of how healthcare, education, and innovation come together. My guest, Hillary Crittenden, leads operations for The Pearl and has played an important role in its growth and development.
The Pearl is an innovation district. We brought together medical education, cutting-edge research, and really big and small players in the healthcare space who are advancing science in a really interesting way, all together in one place.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
This is Adam Gold.
Steve Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick, bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just moved this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
yeah,
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's my theme song. It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Max Gorin sitting in for Victoria today. She's on assignment. Next hour, it's Wednesday. Chip Patterson. We have questions about the fake rankings. We'll see if Chip has read anything. If he looks into the crystal ball, what the Chipolytics say. And we'll talk about the balance of the year. But right now, your opportunity to ask questions. If you go to the YouTube, you can put it right in the chat. But Max always has questions and one-timers.
All right, we will start with one from the YouTube chat. This is from Dealey75. Have the Canes made an adjustment to the power play by finally adding to the net front? Maybe they heard me yelling about this.
I know it's going to sound weird. I don't think they've made any adjustments to the power play. They changed personnel again. They put Jackson Blake back on the second unit. Maybe he was elevated to the second unit. And Andrei Svechnikov back in the top, on the first unit. No, there's always, they always have somebody near the net. They have somebody who's stationed there. And it usually rotates in. It's multiple players. It's just, they won faceoffs. Both power play goals in the last 4 games. The one against Vegas that made it 1-0, which a game they ultimately lost. And the one last night were essentially right off the faceoff. Aho wins it directly to Svechnikov against Vegas. Aho wins it to Walker, who passes it to Ehlers. Yeah, and Jarvis is in front. So, it's hard to read anything into it. I actually liked the other power plays since then. I thought their power play looked pretty good last night.
I think it's definitely improving. The goals last night, those were very Hurricanes goals.
Oh.
Win it back,
set piece,
shoot it from distance through traffic.
We're Arsenal.
And score. Yeah.
I mean, how many Premier League references can I get in?
We're
it's
only
just
in the first hour. We got a lot of time for
first hour.
All right, we'll stay on the Canes here as we finish up this hour. Alexander Nikishin obviously been fantastic, has been every bit as advertised, if not more. What do we think Alexander Nikishin's contract is going to look like, and when will they sign him to it?
They will not sign him to it, I think, until after the season. I don't think you're going to do anything, and I don't think their agent wants to sign it now either.
Because that price is going to go up
it all depends.
The more he plays, because I think he's just going to keep putting good tape out there.
He is. I don't think his time on ice is going to be as dramatically high as others do. When their blue line is
That's
healthy.
True. He's got a big opportunity right now with all the injuries.
Yes, and I think the best thing we have seen about Alexander Nikishin in this stretch is all the stuff that isn't offense. He has been really good in other areas. Ultimately, I think his contract will be in the 8 range. That's what I think. I guess.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
He scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and I want you to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. And with Thursday Night Football coming up, here's how we do it. Pick an anytime touchdown scorer, and if your guy, Brock Bowers with the Raiders, scores either the first or last touchdown, you win your bet, plus you're in the pool for $2 million in bonus bets. You get a share of that. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus is issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
For the Panthers, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. If it's Andy Dalton, if it's Bryce Young, if it's hurt Bryce Young, Hendon Hooker, whoever it is, it comes down to one thing. The team isn't good enough to overcome turnovers. Protect the football. Whether your ankle's hurt or not, don't turn it over and let the defense and running game do the rest.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I travel coast to coast covering hockey, but when I'm back home, I head to my home away from home, Buffalo Brothers, for the best wings on the planet. You can't beat their specials at all 5 of their Triangle locations. Every pro football game day, you can get Miller Lite Draft for $4.50 and Blue Moon Draft for $5.50. Pet-friendly patio too. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man. Now I want wings.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at richielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
The Canes will win the draw. Walker, there's a drive, they score! Nikolai Ehlers! His first goal with the Carolina Hurricanes. It's a power play goal, and it's 1-0. Hurricanes here at the Garden. Riley at the left point. Riley works it across. Long drive, they score! Walker rips it through, and it's a 2-0 Hurricanes lead. Sean Walker steps into it, his second of the season off the draw, and the Canes take a 2-0 lead.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin on the ones and twos. Victoria on assignment. Chip Patterson joins us in 15 minutes. First college football playoff rankings are out. We'll talk about that. Get his thoughts also on the red-hot UNC Tar Heels. They've won one in a row. Max? One in a row.
It's good for them, man. I mean, they needed to get one, and I said it last week before the game. I was like, if they're ever going to win one, like, that's the one. The Syracuse team that's way down without their quarterback.
Oh, their offense is just horrendous.
Carolina been trending up the last few weeks.
Defenses look good.
More common defenses look really good. Offense has not made as many mistakes, although the first half of that Syracuse game, they just could not get it going.
Well, I
couldn't believe they were losing that game at halftime.
Well, but I mean, obviously there was nothing. There was barely any offense in the entire game at that point. I thought actually I picked Carolina outright to win and under whatever the total was when we placed bets on Friday. I liked the Tar Heels to win that game, and watching it, it was obvious to me Friday night that the first team to completely abandon downfield passing was going to win the game. Just stop even pretending that you could complete passes down the field. Carolina became a throw it to the running backs offense or really short passes to complete those to help move the chains. And once they committed to that before Syracuse, I thought the game was over. Syracuse insisted on dropping that guy back and having him throw it down the field, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out why. Fran Brown's a smart coach. That was curious to me. Good. But I think Carolina's defense has been trending in this direction for a while. Speaking of Carolina, 3-0 win at Madison Square Garden, and that is where we will begin. And always, you can follow us on YouTube. You can watch the show. Go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan, or get the 99.9 The Fan app. Wherever you are, you can watch the show. I recommend it. All right, now, Canes go to Madison Square Garden. They have Pyotr Kochetkov making his season debut. Remember, as Brandon Bussey was going 3-1 in his 4 starts, and All 4 of his starts have been good. He has been very good. The fallout from Brandon Bussey on Canes Twitter, which can be entertaining if you don't take it seriously, was trade Kochetkov. Bussey's the guy. He should even be the number 1. I wish I was making that up. I wish. Remember Spencer Martin, people? Do we remember Spencer Martin?
Even he got a shutout in his first game or something like that?
Well, his first game was the Mom's trip in Boston. I don't think it was a shutout, but he was awesome. He also won in Vegas that year. He basically, he could have run for mayor. He was so good his first year that the Hurricanes made sure he stuck around. They gave him a contract. And then last year, look at his numbers last year for Carolina. He had some good games, but ultimately, he wasn't good. He looked very much like a minor league goalie. And I am not suggesting that that's what Brandon Bussey is. But when you watch Pyotr Kochetkov, we've been saying this for years. If Kochetkov could simply eliminate the bad goals, you don't have to do anything else other than get rid of the, how did that go in? He'd be really good. And granted, I don't think the Rangers are good at all. But last night, there were opportunities to score.
Especially early.
Oh my gosh. He had 15 saves in the first period. He had 13 saves in like the first 12 minutes of the first period. Carolina was better at the end of the period. But the first 30 minutes of that game, Pyotr Kochetkov won. He was my first star based on the first 30 minutes of the game. Here's Rod Brindamore on weathering the early storm.
Well, that was the difference, I think, right off the bat. His first period, a lot of testy ones, and just allowed us to just settle in. And then, after that, we played great. I don't know how many shots we gave up. I think 9 the rest of the game, and 1 in the third. That's really good. But game goes totally different if they capitalize.
It does. So you might have gotten this statistic from the Canes Corner podcast after every game, available on YouTube. Just subscribe to it so it shows up automatically. In his career against Igor Shesterkin, Kochetkov, 5-2, .934 save percentage. Against Shesterkin only. Heads up. Now, this is all regular season stuff, by the way. The playoffs, he hasn't really played that much, and he hasn't been great. We all understand that. If you look at what Kochetkov is like against the big 4 Russian goalies, Ilya Sorokin of the Islanders, Sergei Bobrovsky of the Panthers, and Andrei Vasilevsky of the Lightning. Combined for his career against those goalies, 11-5-0, .935 save percentage. How?
It's pretty decent there.
How do we justify that?
He just loves to play against Russians at the other end of the ice. And, I'm going to make a bit of a bold proclamation. I think Bussey and Kochetkov can be the goaltending tandem for this team, in the future. You have Freddie this year. It's on a 1-year deal. That'll expire. Bussey is a guy who was the Bruins' top goaltending prospect for a long time, someone that Paul Schoenfelder, the goaltending coach for the Hurricanes, had his eye on.
Yeah.
Is finally getting an opportunity now and showing that he can be a very competent goaltender. And then you also have Kochetkov, who is signed for another year after this year at a very reasonable
$2 million.
$2 million. And these two together, combined with the Hurricanes' defensive system, I think can do more than enough to help this team in net. So I think Bussey and Kochetkov from 2026 on, and maybe you start next year and give it a shot, and if it doesn't really work out, you can assess other options because this team always has cap space. But I think that can be a winning tandem for
Here's
this team.
the thing, and it gets right back to Kochetkov again. We've been waiting for Pyotr to eliminate the bad goal. When he eliminates that bad goal, and I would point to this, I believe it was not last year, but it was 2 years ago. He had a stretch for about 3.5 months where he was legitimately a top 5 goalie in the league. In the entire league. Freddie was out for a long time. It was when he was out with his blood clot. And when you go back and you look at that stretch, you go, oh, that's there. He can be great. My only question is, can he stay focused long enough to be great? And that is a big risk, right? Bussy is not a number. You can't hand him the crease in a playoff. And frankly, so far, it's been questionable whether you can do that with Kochetkov. Until he does it, we'll never know.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that you got to get Bussy. I think that potential is there. He needs that NHL experience, though. He definitely looks solid. I mean, technique-wise, he looks very sharp.
Yeah.
And he's finally getting that opportunity. You know he's probably hungry to showcase what he's got after being in the minors and being stuck behind the likes of Volmark and Swayman and probably even maybe even Tuukka Rask back in the day. I'm not sure how long he was in their system for.
I think Rask he's only been there last 3 years.
Still,
4 years.
They've had some great goaltenders there
yes,
that he's not been able to get the opportunity to play. So I'm sure he's just chomping at the bit to make the most of the opportunity, and he's done a good job so far. So hopefully he can keep it up, and if he can, I think he could be a crucial piece for this team kind of into the future.
They need 3 goalies this year. They're going to carry 3 goalies for the foreseeable future, and they'll figure it out. But Kochetkov reminded us last night, that's the whole point of this. He reminded us that there is that high end. And, man, if he could just harness that other stuff. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're, like, last year they didn't look right because there was a bad goal in every game. Even he would play a great game. He had about 5 games in a row where he was awesome, and then he was a mess. And he was a mess the rest of the way and never got it back. Trip Tracy points out it was the game in L.A., I believe, against the Kings, where he got lit up. But they couldn't because they had a game the next night. They couldn't put Freddie in. Kochetkov had to wear it, and he didn't wear it very well, and it ruined him going forward. But he can be exceptional. Let's see what we get. This is a very, very big year in his career because they have to decide if he's a $2 million backup next year or can he be the guy. That will determine what they do with Freddie Anderson. All right, we break. When we come back, the one and only Chip Patterson, Cover 3 Podcast, CBSSports.com. We are going to dig in on the college football playoff, and I will tell you the one thing or the one person that we need to hear from, maybe 2 people, that we need to hear from now until the end of the season. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Holiday scratch-offs, what a gift it lets them dream just for a bit. Ski trip, cruise ship, sports car, pristine yard, courtside seats, fancy meats, holiday scratch-offs can't be beat.
Give the gift of what if from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.19 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
My name is Luis Fonsi. No one should face Alzheimer's or other dementias alone. Resources are available at alz.org and by calling the Alzheimer's Association's 24/7 free hotline at 800-272-3900.
It's Bo time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor. fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This is Adam Gold.
We're going to have Seth on the show next week when he gets back from vacation. He was by a pool. What are you doing? Get off Twitter.
It's nicer to be on Twitter when you're by a pool anyway.
No, just stop engaging with people.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin on the ones and twos. It's a glorious day in the neighborhood. The Hurricanes shut out the Rangers last night. You hate to see it. College football playoff released their first rankings, and people are mad. Beautiful. Chip Patterson, CBSSports.com. He is also the moderator of the Cover 3 podcast, the best college football podcast on earth. Sir, did we get anything juicy from last night?
I mean, I think that there is a super cut or a like smash cut for those in the video editing industry.
Okay.
That could be made from Jim Phillips saying, "I love where we're positioned for the college football playoff rankings." Smash cut, no teams inside the top 13 of the college football playoff rankings. Then let's go ahead and fast forward a few minutes later. The committee chair for this year, Mac Rhodes, the athletics director from the from Baylor University, he said, it's kind of like Arizona State. And hard stop. They invoked the Big 12, Adam. And we know what that means? That means they're going to treat the ACC like the Big 12. Because you know what the committee did with the Big 12 last year? Had a bunch of teams inside their top 25. None of them anywhere near the top, which was a message. You all figure all that out.
Yeah.
Whatever this is that you've got going on. The Atlantic Coast Conference is being treated like the Big 12. A top 5 takeaway from last night is that the ACC is a one-bid league, despite having numerous teams in the mix for this conference championship. This committee clearly views this league as just one that will only send its conference champion.
Well, and here's the thing is that we know that there's a minimum of 4 SEC schools. Minimum. And there are 3 Big Ten schools, and that's probably it. And
I think, look, keep your eye on Oregon at Iowa, and things could get dicey, but there's also room similarly for a USC or a Washington to become that new third team.
all right, new third team. It's still a 3-team league, correct?
They could look, there are disaster scenarios where it gets really tricky, and you could end up, depending on what happens in the Big 12, things could get a little bit hairy. My prediction is that it is 3 Big Ten, and then we'll see what happens with your USC and your Washington. But because they all play each other,
Right.
Adam, they all play each other.
Right.
There's a cannibalization scenario.
I think there's a scenario where Oregon falls out, and I don't think it's Iowa, but Southern Cal could end up being a part of this. I don't think Washington is part of it, but I do think there's a scenario where Southern Cal replaces Oregon. Oregon has been sneaky. Really? Not I don't even know what value we're going to give the win at Penn State, other than it seemed like a big deal at the time. Well, we will get to that. Look, if the SEC puts 5 in, and I think they could, I think they're a minimum of 4, then it's going to be difficult for the ACC to get a second team in. That's just math. I do want to address, I don't disagree with you, but here's where, if I'm Jim Phillips, I'm not sitting here saying I love where we're positioned, because I think that the lobbying needs to start now. Jim Phillips needs to annoy us with tales of whether it's true or not. He doesn't have to tell the truth. He doesn't have to be intellectually honest with people. He should be spewing propaganda. And if I'm Jim Phillips, I'm saying, how on earth is Miami behind Notre Dame when, frankly, their resume is better than Notre Dame's today, even though they lost twice recently? Notre Dame's got 2 losses. He should be saying, who cares when you lose? And I know Notre Dame has 2 amazing losses, but who's their best win? What are their best 2 wins? Notre Dame, Southern Cal, and NC State. Is that their second best win?
Is that a better record against the committee's top 25 than Miami has?
So we're not. I thought we established that the committee doesn't reverse engineer.
Listen, I'm telling you, because the Miami Notre Dame thing was just that was the icing on the. You see Miami at 18, and I was like, good gravy.
Yeah, they don't care about SMU. They don't care about Louisville.
Yep, it's just for Notre Dame. You've got it, baby. You've got the gravy train. Because you know what else I heard last night? Heard a lot of, we've got 3 coaches in the room, and it's really good to lean on their expertise.
Gosh, no, it's not. It's just not.
Here's the you say resume, but to me, I'm imagining the way that they're looking at this. Like, think about it the way the basketball debates go.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the team sheet.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's metrics, their power rating, their great game grades. Notre Dame is a lot better than Miami.
It might be. I'm not even arguing whether or not they're better than Miami.
They are. They objectively are a much higher rated team than Miami is.
Right.
And so I just think that there's a good bit of eye test, recency bias, a lot of it on display, and none of it was good for the ACC, because Miami's win against Notre Dame is the best win that the conference has out of conference.
Yeah.
And by respecting the head-to-head with Texas and Oklahoma that the AP poll did not, but then not respecting it so violently, because the committee says we will take head-to-head into consideration when we think we're dealing with comparable teams.
Right.
And even though Notre Dame has a 6-2 record and Miami has a 6-2 record, and like you mentioned, it's not like Notre Dame has a long list of quality wins. What they are telling you is they are not comparable teams in the eyes of the committee.
By the way, I agree with that sentiment. I am not sitting here saying that the Atlantic Coast Conference deserves any more than their champion in this field. But if I'm Jim Phillips, I am going on a propaganda tour, and I am going to scream about it. And if I were him, I would also say, Dabo Swinney, I need you here. I need you to convince people how good Duke is, because not that Duke's going to be part of this mix, but that
I don't know. They're the betting favorite to win the ACC right now.
I don't even know how that's going to happen. Like, what are the tiebreakers? Because I've kind of parsed through this. We could get to the end where you got 4 teams with 1 loss. I don't even know how Duke wins that tiebreaker. I really don't. But look, I'm here for. I've said all along. I think they're one of the best teams in the league in terms of their personnel. They do have 3 losses, and there's no way we can get around that. They're not going to be in the playoff unless they win the Atlantic Coast Conference, which I guess they could. That would be fun to see a 10-3 Blue Devil team playing in a playoff game, and I don't know, maybe getting their doors blown off, maybe not. But we need the coaches who are not going to be part of this, and somebody like Dabo Swinney, who I don't know, maybe because of his rants, kind of loses national credibility. But when Nick Saban, to me, intellectually, dishonestly, talks about how his team belongs in the playoff, even with excess losses, but Saban's word matters. Does Dabo Swinney's word carry any weight? Should he be lobbying? Mike Krzyzewski used to go on rants in post-game press conferences talking about, we got to talk up the league. Why isn't anybody doing this? And it made him angry because nobody would. Why can't Dabo do it?
Well, because no one's going to be able to see it because we've all got YouTube TV. How are you going to go on? How are you going to go on all these networks and we ain't got no more? What's going to happen there? How'd that work? How are you going to be able to handle that?
Doesn't CBS HQ? I've got that in my kitchen. I got it hardwired in my kitchen.
I mean, it just, I don't know. Like all right, 2 things. Just number one, as a general principle,
right?
Chip, am disinterested with a propaganda tour. Like nothing makes me glaze over, change the channel.
I'm with you.
Mute it more than the propaganda tour. And then number 2, I do think that it cuts both ways. Like, yes, the ACC is being disrespected because Florida State and Clemson are down, but then also Dabo Swinney's word means less. And you know what else? Dabo Swinney's got to get his house in order.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot. Dabo Swinney looking around and saying, well, "No, I don't owe y'all anything. I need to get this together." And to be honest, that's probably a better thing for the ACC if Dabo Swinney gets his house in order.
Chip Patterson, as always, on a Wednesday. I know that there are people complaining about whether it's Indiana over Tech. Why are we even worried about it at this point? And I have said this: if Virginia wins out, I mean, they're in the field. We don't even have to whether they win the ACC championship game or not. No, if they win out, are they in?
I don't know. We'll see. They will be a part of the debate, just like SMU was.
I guess. SMU got in. Of course, SMU was undefeated, right? Except for the 1 loss against Baylor.
You mean BYU?
BYU, right. The 1 loss against BYU.
But that's why I said, so Virginia runs the table, and you said even if they lose in the ACC championship game, so let's get there and let's put numbers to it. That would be an 11-2 Virginia team with 1 early season non-conference loss, close, much like SMU's against BYU.
Right.
And we're expecting that you would have a game in the ACC championship game where they are competitive. So it'd be 11-2 ACC runner-up. So just like SMU, you could be in the playoff. I also predicted on the night before Selection Sunday that SMU would not be in the playoff and Alabama would be in. So that's what we're talking about. You would be in that scenario as an 11-2 ACC runner-up, potentially the last team out or the first team out or the last team in. That's the kind of narrow line that you'd be towing.
Let me ask you about Louisville with wins at Pitt, at Miami.
Yep.
Home to they have Clemson coming up in Louisville. I don't even know what value. Like I said before, Let's answer that question first. What value do we put on Oregon's win at Penn State? Is it a 0? At the time, it wasn't.
Correct. That's true. But I think that it is worth more than the Wisconsin win, more than the Oklahoma State win, more than the Rutgers win.
The fact that you just hesitated there is sort of amazing to me.
Well, I mean, it's like, what is Penn State going to end up being?
Yeah, they're 0-5 in conference play right now. Yeah,
it's a win that contributes to their strength of schedule. So if Penn State can, get themselves to 6-6 under Terry Smith, then hey, it's worth a little bit more. They continue to fall apart. The strength of schedule for the Oregon Ducks continues to get nuked.
Right, but I am curious because there are humans making these decisions. We're not just doing a computer printout. Are you sure? Well, it's a good point. I'm not sure about that. I'm assuming that we have.
Do you follow BCS Know-How on Twitter?
No.
So there is a Twitter account called BCS Know-How, KNOWHOW. They run the BCS formula as it was set up the last year that the BCS existed.
Right.
And it has been remarkably close to almost every playoff ranking release.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we've only had one 12-team playoff before this year, so.
But I'm saying at each of the releases, each of the weekly releases last week. And last night, it's pretty close, especially inside the top 12, 14. So if you want to look for clues and ways that you can maybe align what your expectation should be, things like the Oregon Ducks getting more credit from pollsters who thought Oregon was awesome for beating Penn State, while the computers jump in and tell you that win's not worth anything anymore. Hello, now Oregon, that's how they dropped to number 9, like they were in the playoff rankings. So this new record strength metric might just be strength of record,
Right.
Like,
they changed the word. They just changed the order of the words.
Yeah, I think that, as I've told you before, all the green and red numbers can lead you to a final result that just doesn't even look at the schedules. You're sitting here, you're running through wins, you run through losses. There's a way that you can get the job done pretty quickly and only need 2 cups of coffee from the wonderful Grapevine, Texas lobby to be able to get through the process.
Chip Patterson is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, as he does every Wednesday. I am kind of baffled. Miami, what has happened? I mean, is it Carson Beck walking past the mirror and seeing last year's Carson Beck? I know he's hurt for a good chunk of it, but what has happened to that? Like, I haven't watched either of their losses, so I can't sit here and honestly say they have gotten Mario Cristobal. So what has happened in these 2 losses? Pondering.
Yeah, I mean, because it kind of is coaching malpractice.
Okay.
In a couple different ways. There is the way that the second half and late game scenarios were handled, even in the midst of just horrendous turnover issues. Man, there were still opportunities to beat Louisville at home.
Oh, yeah.
In that game. And then against SMU, I really, really think that Miami was not prepared. And you've got to be able, you cannot play down to the competition in that setting. And so that's where you look at the flat start against Stanford. Remember that game was 7-7 at halftime. Right. That's sandwiched in between these 2 losses when they were double-digit favorites in both of those games.
Yeah.
I mean, there is an aspect of coaching that happens all year long. And Mario Cristobal works harder at the recruiting and roster building process than a lot of the coaches in this sport. And working for him is exhausting, and you put so much time into it, and you put together a roster like the one they had last year and like the one they had this year. But another part of coaching happens in terms of getting your team mentally, physically, emotionally prepared for the start of the game. 3 straight weeks they have not started. Let's bring it to the Hurricanes a little bit. Skating on your toes. The boys talk about it. Oh yeah, the boys talk about skating on their toes. Like Miami doesn't skate on their toes. Little back foot type performances, and you get got. And that's super, super disappointing. And when you trace it back to last year and remembering all of the fourth quarter comebacks and the Cam Ward heroics that were even needed to get them to 10 wins. It's difficult. Like, if no one's going to, that's his alma mater. The reason they have millions of dollars to spend is because Mario's buddies are some of the biggest donors.
Yeah, and you ride with the roster, right? You ride with that roster all the time. It'll give you a chance to win all the time.
But man, this needs to be a growth season for that coaching staff.
Yep, no doubt about it. All right, let me just. I don't think they're still part of this playoff picture, but North Carolina has gotten better, haven't they?
North Carolina?
They have gotten better.
They have gotten better. North Carolina has gotten better. The thing that is going to be remembered, no matter like what happens against Stanford or Wake Forest, Duke or NC State, is there have been some individuals that have really raised their level of play and like shown up and just, we're not going out like punks. I've seen teams quit in college football all the time, and North Carolina's done the opposite.
Yep.
So it is definitely a team that has gotten better. It will be a test of North Carolina's maturity as they find themselves in an unusual position of being expected to win against a lesser opponent in the way that they are with Stanford coming to town. They play a game that has thin margins.
Yeah.
But if they can keep winning on those margins, then we'll see if they can be a thorn in the side, because how North Carolina fans, I would assume some level of this would be your big Rams and your boosters and Blue Zone people, things of that nature. How they feel at the end of the Bill Belichick year one will be determined by the games that draw out the most emotion. And the games that draw out the most emotion for a North Carolina fan are all still ahead of you.
Yep.
It is Wake Forest, it is Duke, and it is certainly NC State. This is it. Like, this is truly the season in terms of how it feels for fans at the end of the year.
The game they just won is exactly the games that I have envisioned North Carolina always winning, where it comes down to, what do we do well? What can't you do well? What do you do well that I want to take away? And I thought that was exactly why they won at Syracuse. I thought it was evident early on, the first team to completely abandon throwing the ball down the field is going to win this game. And North Carolina,
unless it's an extension of the run game, like a screen pass to DeMond.
That's not down the field, right? To me, that's a running play. We could talk about it any way you want. Those are running plays to me. Even the little short passes are kind of running plays. And the first team to say, we can't throw it, so we're just not gonna. And that was North Carolina. And they got to that first, and the game was over at that point. And that's where I always thought Bill's expertise in figuring out how to win a football game, because they weren't overwhelmed on either line of scrimmage. And once those things become equal, I like their chances. I mean, not always. I don't think they're as good as the 3 state schools. I don't think they're as good as State, Duke, or Wake. So they were as good as Syracuse, that version of it anyway. And I think they're as good as Stanford. And I think they can win this game too. I don't think they're going to win the other 3, but maybe they will. That would be really cool. Real quick about about the Wolfpack. I mean, I'm not saying we saw a win over Georgia Tech coming. I thought that game would be competitive. But I was impressed with no Hollywood Smothers, no Justin Jolie, and they just got to work. They were impressive.
They had a great game plan. They came out. They started really stressing Georgia Tech to make them do something that Georgia Tech hasn't had to do a lot, and that's play catch up.
Yep.
Haynes King is a really, really good quarterback, and obviously they still scored a whole bunch of points.
He had 500 yards of offense.
But to be able to see some weaknesses and some places where you're going to be able to pick this apart, to have players step up even without two of your best offensive skill position players, just a really, really strong response after what clearly was a dark moment in the wake of the Pitt loss and the way that game had gone. Clearly no defensive issues have been fixed.
No.
But it was a team win that I know that Dave Doran and that staff were very happy to celebrate.
Yeah, they can't cover. I actually think their run defense was fairly good. It was all Haynes King. Nobody else really ran the ball on them. But they can't cover in the secondary, and that's been the case all year long. Chip Patterson, CBSSports.com, Cover 3 podcast moderator. My friend.
You don't want to talk about you don't want to talk about changing the name of that other tour?
No, I ran out of time. We will definitely get to that next week. Yeah, we can't call it Live anymore. People forget that Live was just 54.
I am, truthfully, I am very happy about it. I am.
That we're going to call it whatever, LXXII?
You literally call it whatever you want. In fact, if you need more money, though I can't imagine they do, sell the rights to it. You know, call it the Adam Gold Show Tour.
I wish the Public Investment Fund was interested in sports radio.
Adam, I think you said that when this was Adam said, "Yeah, I would sign up for that in a heartbeat." But I want data that I feel like I can use for comparison's sake.
Yep.
You know,
it's a step. They're not all the way there. They have other things that they need to deal with, but they got, just by adding the additional round, they get closer to getting official world golf rankings points. Chip Patterson, we'll talk about it next week. What?
Okay. Right. Well, I was going to say, even aside of the world golf rankings, just for my purposes of trying to figure out Rahm, Hatton, Bryson. I mean, like, I can't take their finishes seriously because I don't know the field.
Yeah.
But the way that they play the course over 4 rounds, those things can be very informative to trying to set expectations for major championships.
Definitely matters. No doubt about it. All right, sir. Next week. I appreciate your time.
Sounds good. Y'all be well.
Chip Patterson is the best. Max, you're a golf fan too.
That is correct.
Right? You heard about the news yesterday?
Yeah, they're going to 72
holes. They're going to 72 holes.
Over at Live.
All right. So they're doing it in the interest of getting official world golf rankings points, which this is a good step. Won't get them all the way there. Field size are still too small. The no-cut thing probably doesn't matter. I think it matters a little bit, but it's not a deal breaker. It's just right now another in the don't like it column.
For me, it's the shotgun start. I can't.
That has nothing to do with it.
I can't take them seriously with that shotgun start, man. It's not the member guest over at
but I don't think
Raleigh Country Club.
I don't think it's. Again, I don't think that's a deal breaker for the official world golf rankings.
I don't think so either.
It's
but to
comedy.
me, it rubs me the wrong way that they want to be taken seriously with that shotgun start.
On top of there's an actual real golf element to that, in that theoretically, the closing stretches of holes, 15, 16, 17, 18, depending on where you are, like we all at Augusta, 17s can be an easy hole. Right, but maybe Augusta National is not the right course to use, but theoretically those holes are supposed to present challenges to holding your lead.
Yeah, imagine if you led off your round by playing Amen Corner at Augusta. Right. Like that's just it's not the same as if someone if they finished on those holes or whatever. I mean, honestly, for me, Liv, it's all sports washing anyway. I don't watch any of Liv golf.
I don't either. Not necessarily for that reason. And I've argued this for a long time. People remember me talking about this maybe way more than I should have. I think there are reasons to be anti-live golf that have nothing to do with the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia.
Like them bisecting the world of professional golf and splitting it up for
like them
in
destroying
the interest of money.
Well, honestly, what Live has done is it's completely destroyed and distorted the economic reality of professional golf. Because the sport, what the PGA Tour has done to react to Live, that's not really sustainable. They are basically relying entirely upon sponsors to foot the bill for everything. And if a major sponsor decides, you know what, I really can't give you $20 million for your purse, they got to find another sponsor that's going to do that. The sport doesn't generate the revenue that they need to compete with. They can't compete with Liv's money. So ultimately, if it just becomes how much money, as an athlete, how much money I can drain from this sport, then the Public Investment Fund is going to win out, because that is unlimited money. They don't care. They've lost billions of dollars on golf. Billions. You can't tell. When you're worth 700 and something billion, it doesn't matter that you've lost 10. You just regenerate the money.
Yeah, it's monopoly money for them.
So my real problem is what they have done to the economic realities of that sport, and how players who feel entitled to make that money because somebody else is paying it, even though that's not reality. That is my bigger problem, and it definitely. I think there's one player on the Live Tour that is missed. One, Bryson DeChambeau. There's not a single other player on that tour that people really tune in for. That includes Jon Rahm. That's it. Bryson is the only needle mover on that tour. And you see that when they're television, when they're on TV opposite a PGA Tour event. Nobody's watching, even though they're available on over-the-air television. Because Fox has many of their events opposite PGA Tour events. Nobody watches. A garden variety PGA Tour event destroys Live head-to-head. Even the non-elevated events.
Yeah, like the John Deere.
Destroys Live head-to-head. Because there's no needle movers there. None. Except for Bryson.
Put on some freaking long pants, guys. Come on.
Those kind of things don't. I'm like the PGA Tour could go to shorts.
No, yeah, I don't actually care about that.
But they're getting close. They'll get official World Golf Rankings points eventually, but they ain't gonna get a lot because the fields are too small.
As soon as they take the DJ off the hole that's cranking the club music, that's when they get the OWGR points.
I got one more thing for you. I'll tell you about what has really bothered me. An unintended consequence of Live. We're going to come back. We're going to stretch. We're going to place bets. And I'm going after your squad today, Max. Next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As the public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
When people put their feet under a table, it means more than just consuming food, getting the restaurant back open. That meant to the community a lot of normalcy. The public health department checked the wells so that we knew where we could get water that was able to be used.
And it was neighbor helping neighbor, and I'm so proud to work in this little small county.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we dive into a project that's making big waves in Charlotte and beyond. It's called The Pearl, a bold reimagining of how healthcare, education, and innovation come together. My guest, Hillary Crittenden, leads operations for The Pearl and has played an important role in its growth and development.
The Pearl is an innovation district. We brought together medical education, cutting-edge research, and really big and small players in the healthcare space who are advancing science in a really interesting way, all together in one place.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Agriculture drives our local economy. I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University, and we are looking for our next generation of leaders. If you want to make a difference and help feed the world, join us at the Ag Institute, where we grow successful graduates, productive futures, and rewarding lifestyles. We offer 2-year degrees and hundreds of internships. Learn more online by searching NC State Ag Institute. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
Tough, reliable, and ready to work. You were born that way. Kubota is built that way. Our entire ag lineup, featuring versatile tractors and hay tools, powerful skid steer loaders, and the rugged Sidekick utility vehicle, is designed with the engine of a Kubota and the heart of a farmer. Visit KubotaUSA.com to find a dealer near you.
This is Adam Gold.
You know, soap attracts dirt, right? That's what soap does. It attracts dirt. Right now, Bill Belichick is soap. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's soap.
Yeah.
He's attracting all this dirt.
Or he's like an overripe banana and it's attracting all these gnats.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Max is on the 1s and 2s. Max Gorin. One more thing about my anger at what Live Golf has done. It completely removed Dustin Johnson as a competitive player. You know, in these last 2 Ryder Cups for the United States, you know, it would have been really nice. Because Dustin Johnson ain't too old. He's younger than Justin Rose. Would have been really nice to have a competitive Dustin Johnson available. But he wasn't, because he hasn't really been. There you go. Maybe DJ would have been like that anyway, to be honest. I don't know. But in the grand scheme of things, the United States suffers because some of their best players have stopped producing. Looking at you, Jordan Spieth. All right, Max, it's time to stretch.
All right, well, we've got some news here. The dictionary.com word of the year has dropped.
Oh,
I don't know how they declare it 2 months before the end of the year with these kind of yearly award things, but I guess it's been long enough for them to decide. I could give you 1,000 guesses. What do you think the dictionary.com word of the year is?
Ooh, 6-7.
That is the word of the year.
No kidding.
It is 6-7.
Are you joking?
Yes, it is 6-7 is the word of the year. A slang term that's been delighting kids, exasperating teachers, and befuddling adults for months.
If that isn't a promo, Then I quit.
It is 6'7". Officially has no definition.
It's 2 words.
Dictionary.com says perhaps the most defining feature of it is that it's impossible to define, meaningless, ubiquitous, and nonsensical. It's the logical endpoint of being perpetually online, scrolling endlessly, consuming content fed to users by algorithms trained by other algorithms. If that doesn't epitomize where we are at as a society these days, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of us.
It's got so out of control. It's taken on a life of its own, and now it is the Dictionary.com word of the year.
Should we place bets?
Yes, let's just wash that out of our mouths as quickly as possible.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me.
I owe you nothing.
That is phenomenal, by the way.
It's an astute observation there to call that out. We were talking about Man City earlier. They're actually playing some Champions League action today.
They are.
And my first bet, I'm going to go with Erling Haaland to score the first goal at plus 240 because all he does in Champions League is score.
That is true. He is part of my wager on that. City to beat Dortmund. Both teams to score. Erling Haaland to score at least twice. That is plus 480.
Very nice. I need my last column I wrote on the 99.9 The Fan app. I like to pick a player to watch of the week. This was 2 weeks ago. I took Halloween off. I was eating too much candy. Mammoth are playing the Maple Leafs tonight, and my last player to watch was Logan Cooley. He just signed an $80 million contract extension. I'll go with Logan Cooley to score a goal tonight. That is plus 210.
Are we channeling? Because I have Utah beating Toronto in Toronto tonight and over 6.5 goals. At plus 310. The Mammoth are good, legitimately good, and young, and will be a problem in the West. And I guess we're done for right here. 6-7, word of the year, even though it's 2 words. Big winner, America.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan, the ACC, the SEC. The biggest matchups will be found here.
Scott sprints 20, Duke Scott 10, touchdown! Deal sealer, Duke Scott! NC State's going to upset 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, and Carter Finley loses its mind.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. During hockey season, I'm bouncing from coast to coast like a puck on ice. But when I'm back in town, I always head to Buffalo Brothers for the best wings on the planet. And check this out. Now they have a new flavor, Chili Lime. You can't beat the great specials at all 5 Triangle locations, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. You can dine in or carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to KeepMyNetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Holiday scratch-offs, what a gift. It lets them dream just for a bit.
Ski trip, cruise ship, sports car, pristine yard, courtside seats, fancy meats, holiday scratch-offs can't be beat.
Give the gift of what if from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.19 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
On the job, every minute counts. That's why Lowe's now has ProBlock Quick Dry Primer, expertly manufactured by Sherwin-Williams. Engineered for pros to dry fast and go on smooth for virtually flawless results that keep your job moving. It's available in oil and water-based, and getting it is easy. Order online by 2 p.m. and get free same-day delivery right to your job site. Lowe's, we help, you save. Orders placed after 2 p.m. will be delivered next day. Valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. More terms apply.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
06 got to be one of the greatest sporting events I've ever attended. Game 7,
right,
with Edmonton in Raleigh. We never sat down.
No,
except between periods. Never ever.
Sitting down in between periods. That's when everybody rested.
We did sit down in between periods, but that's the only time. And I even went to the arena for the away games in Edmonton, hoping that if we pulled it off.
Right.
But we were up 3-1, and then we lost the next 2 games and tied it up. So that was an extraordinary time.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Welcome. I am Adam Gold, Max Gorin, sitting in for Victoria today. Many ways you can experience the show, even contribute to it. We're on YouTube live every day. Even on the days where I am physically not in this studio, you can still find us on YouTube. And then the video is just kind of a darkened studio with mood lighting, maybe a lava lamp. And wherever I am, it's just you hear the voice. But you can watch us on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show. Here it is, says it right there. Or you can go 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of that, you can get the 99.9 The Fan app, and then wherever you are. For instance, let's say you're out of town. Let's just say you're, I don't know, North Dakota. Where's the biker? Is the biker festival in North Dakota or South Dakota? I think it's South Dakota for the, Sturgis? I don't even know what it's called. Sturgill would be a country music store. Sturgill Simpson. Anyway, let's say you're in South Dakota for a biker convention.
The Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Is that in South Dakota?
It is. I'll find out here shortly. It's loading slowly.
Let's say you're there. But, man, I got to hear Gold's take on the college football playoff. Not that ever happens.
Sturgis, South Dakota.
There you go. Let's just say you are. If you have the handy-dandy 99.9 The Fan app, you can watch me give my take on that. I mean, I think you should get it. And I think you should get it now. Max, you just said you write columns for 99.9 The Fan. The app.
Yeah, I've been writing some weekly hockey columns, although it took off last week in favor of the office Halloween party instead. Bring
Did
it
it
back.
take a lot out of you?
Yeah, well, it's exhausting, just keeping track of all those teams because I stay locked in on everything in the NHL. But I'll bring it back later this week. If you go, we have all our written content on the
Right.
app. If you go in and you click the tab at the top that says News, everything that's written, whether it's one of my columns or any sort of updates and news, is through that. So it's a pretty multifunctional app. You can read written content. Obviously, you can watch our live shows as well. All your podcasts are there, and all our contests or the schedule for live play-by-play coverage on any of our networks. If there's a show that's on 620 AM Buzz Sports Radio, you can access that through the app as well. So that's a lot of our Duke content is on that station and is accessible through the app as well. So very multifunctional. If you consume any of our content, that is a great tool to have in your arsenal there.
And super easy. Super easy. And free. Did I mention free? Right? Who doesn't love free? Wall of Sound is free.
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
We're going to start with hockey. You know what had not happened? There were two firsts last night. Pyotr Kochetkov playing for the first time this year. That went well. And Nick Ehlers scored a goal. It only took 12 games. Power play, Carolina wins faceoff. Ehlers finally on the score sheet, and his head coach was happy.
I think it's been solid all year. He should have had more, action in the point department, but nice for him to get off that. Now he can kind of relax and hopefully settle in, and he's going to be here for a long time. We need him to be contributing.
Well, he did last night. Look, I think it takes a while to adjust. I don't think Ehlers has played all that well. I mean, not far be it from me to disagree with the coach. I think the coach is he's been solid. That's not great. I think he's had good moments. He's had bad moments. They need more from him. I thought at 5-on-5 yesterday, he was just kind of okay. Although I will say this. Right now, playing with Stankoven and Blake, I think it will generate more chances for him. Because those two guys, in general, have gotten favorable matchups. And I think those two guys are all over it every night.
They have a really good chemistry, too. Back
Blake and
forth.
Stankoven.
Even from the very first preseason game this year, you notice that they just kind of buzz around. They seem to know where each other are at. And then a third player on that line would likely be a beneficiary of all that in creating scoring chances. So
the beginning of the year, we thought it was going to be Andre.
Yeah, and that's why I like getting Ehlers down there and get him a different look. He hasn't had quite the best luck, but he's been generating some good plays and has fit in all right. He's just trying to settle in. So I think the goals are going to keep coming. I think the 5v5 goals will start coming. Got the marker on the power play yesterday, but they're going to start coming in bunches. I can just feel it. He's about to get unlocked here soon.
Here's the thing that I believe has been holding Carolina's offense back. And I say this knowing that going into last night, the Hurricanes were tied for third in the NHL in scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, with all of their offensive woes, they have scored more than almost every other team in the league. Now, it has come down, but every team's offense has come down since the first, 5 or so games. But Carolina's blue line is so compromised in terms of personnel. No Slavin, no Miller, no Gostisbehere. By any measure, that's three of their top 5 defensemen going into the year. Based on the way they played early on before injury, it's 3 of their best 4, to be honest. But what Carolina's blue line does for them, beyond play defense, is help create puck possession. And Carolina's game for the entirety of the Rod Brind'Amour era has been, we possess the puck, we put a ton of shots on net, we stress you out, we make you live in your end. And that has not happened. Over the last now 7 games, Carolina's possession, other than the Islanders game, which looked very representative of Hurricanes hockey, other than that game, their possession has been, at best, mediocre, but in large part underwater.
You wouldn't say last night they dominated possession of the puck?
No, they didn't. But what they did was defend great. And what they did, you just look at the basic Corsi numbers. When Carolina's going, no matter who they play, when they are going, their possession numbers are in the mid-60s. 50-something, 52, 53 last night, just in the general 5-on-5 possession numbers. It's just been okay. It has not been hurricanesy. And it's because their back line, that's a soccer term, it's because their blue line has not been what we all are accustomed to it being. That's where possession of the puck starts for them. Because it's not just getting the puck out of your end and defending. It's creating offense from defense. And that has been, everybody talks about the forecheck and all of that. It has been Slavin getting out of your own end with the puck. And it isn't just him. Like, there are guys missing. We haven't had Brady Shea or Brett Pesce now for a year. Brent Burns was good at that. He turned it over a bunch, but he also was very good at getting the puck out and starting offense the other way.
I thought possession and everything was a little bit better last night. And
it was better.
Corsi for percentage of 57.6 last night. So that's closer to the 60 that you're kind of looking to be that benchmark.
When their average number, what that is was their average number. When you look at it, right? Because the Rangers gave up last night. They were done. They didn't even try. They didn't try. Carolina took the life out of them. I thought the second period, the last power play for the Rangers, the third power play of the game, ended the game. The Rangers were lifeless on the power play. Hurricanes just took their will right there. That was it. And you could see on the bench, there was no life on the bench in the third period. When Carolina gets to their game, really gets to it, the possession numbers are off the charts. Look at them for the first 5 games, and look at them by and large for 7 of 6 of the last 7, with the Islander game kicked out, and the numbers are pretty. And then you look at the chances, high danger scoring chances. Again, they have largely been underwater over the last 3 weeks. The injuries to Slavin and Miller matter. And when those guys come back, who knows what's going to happen? I think you'll see a lot of things look better for Carolina when those things come back. And then we'll just be mad that the power play's not scoring. Or that Kochetkov has given up a bad goal, which he did not do last night. He was excellent until he didn't need to do anything. He could have gone up into the concession stand and got a slice of pizza. He could have gone down the street to St. Mark's in the Village, which, for those people who are, visitors of New York City, that's my favorite pizza place in New York City, St. Mark's Pizza.
I'm a John Zableeker guy myself.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I know that their people have their favorites. This just in. You can get great pizza at about 14,000 places in New York City.
There's a couple decent spots around there.
And you can get a great bagel on the street in New York City. It's just, I don't know, it's the bread, man. It is just the bread. And I'm not talking about Artemi Panarin. By the way, there's a lot of stuff in the Canes Corner podcast about what we just talked about. There's stuff about the blue line. There's stuff about Kochetkov. There's stuff about, and it's all related with the Slavin-Miller absence. Power play has looked better. You know how many power play opportunities the Hurricanes have had combined in the last 4 games?
I'm trying to see if I can just immediately count it on the top of my head, but I will guess 4.
6. 1, 3 last night.
Oh, 3 last night.
Yeah, they had 3 last night. 6. They scored 2 power play goals in the last 4 games. 2 out of 6. All right, there was college basketball last night. Man, we're going to do a lot of stuff here. We are going to talk hockey with EJ Hradek of NHL Network coming up in just a few minutes. The Dick Vitale Invitational was Duke in Texas last night in Charlotte. And here's Dickie V on what it means to him.
Let's face reality. I was blown away when they came to me and they told me, Clint Overby from the program department said, hey, we want to name an event after you. What do you think? I said, what do I think? I'm blown away. I can't believe it. So I want to thank, Tonight is all about all you guys. Everybody that's ever on the camera, off the camera, people in the PR office, the executives, Jim Pataro came in, told me how much he's excited that this is being done. I'm blown away by it. Now, really, Dave and Jay, I've had a lot of honors, a lot of awards, Hall of Fames, and George Bonham always gets a kick when he hears me. He says, I love it when you say that I can run, jump, shoot, got a body by linguini, and I'm in 15 Hall of Fames. Well, let me tell you, this tonight, you know what it means to me? My grandkids are here today. I got a granddaughter goes to Duke. I had 2 graduated. But what it means to me is my grandkids, when they have children, I'll be long gone. The bottom line is, they'll take this. That was my papa, man. That's my papa. So I'm really touched, Matt. Really touched.
So I've said this before about Vitale, but I'll never stop saying it. There's not one person who is more responsible for the popularity of college basketball than Dick Vitale.
He is college basketball, man. He is just an absolute legend. It's so good too with all the health stuff that he's dealt with to hear how he's still so like full of energy and full of life, and hopefully he gets to call many more of these Dick Vitale Invitationals with his namesake on it for many years to come. Hopefully maybe they'll consult him on the court design next time, though, and
was it bad?
Switch it up a little.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I haven't even seen highlights yet.
If you look at the highlights, you'll see. But basically, it's not great.
Was it a picture of him?
No.
That would be good.
But it doesn't suit the eye. Like, everything inside the 3-point arc is black.
Ooh.
With red lines for everything. It's not. It wasn't my favorite.
Okay,
I'll say.
Maybe that's why there was some poor shooting last night. Maybe everybody was distorted. Anyway. I know there are people who are over the whole shtick. I get it. But, man, Vitale started with ESPN when they started doing college basketball. And the sport was a great sport, but it was not an institution like it is. And Vitale's enthusiasm for it, 100%. The most influential person in the history of college basketball.
I don't even think for him it's not even really like a shtick. Like that's just him. Like he just loves college basketball.
But that's the way it's looked because the PTP baby, the diaper, all of that stuff. People they're over it.
Now people who hate on that, they can take that up with me. I disagree with that entirely.
You got to deal with Max.
Yeah, I don't know if you can call yourself a real college basketball fan if you're hating on Dick Vitale.
Just writing that down. One more thing about college hoops, and this is great. Rick Pitino, who is, you're not going to find very many in the history of the sport, very many better basketball coaches than Rick Pitino. It didn't have a great, successful NBA run. Stuff with the Knicks wasn't terrible. But a legend of college coaching. And now he is the coach for former Tar Heel Ian Jackson. So he had a meeting with Ian recently about what to avoid.
He does one thing that I don't know why he makes this mistake, but he does it once every practice, once every game. He just comes down the floor and for no rhyme or reason gives the other team the ball. He does it every practice and every game. He did it tonight, if you remember. And I tell him, I said, look, I'm going to give you the best advice I can give you as a coach. This is my 52nd year of coaching. I told him this yesterday. You're wearing a white jersey. Don't give it to the red jersey. Do you understand? He said, that's the best advice you can give me? I said, yes. Stop just giving the ball away. And he does it once a game, once a night, once a practice. Outside of that, he's growing. He's got to be more physical on the backboard. He's a very willing passer, although I probably didn't have an assist tonight or a steal. He's a much improved defensive player. He's lightning quick. He can shoot it. So I'm very pleased with Ian, and he's the most unbelievable kid that's gotten so many accolades. He's such a great guy.
We're wearing white. They're wearing red. Don't give it to the red team.
In other news, I'm about to become the greatest college basketball coach ever because I'm just going to tell the players, shoot it from the three-point line into the basket and don't give it to the other team. And we're going to go 40.
Find the lie. That's brilliant coaching. It's brilliant coaching. I told Rod just have them score goals. Tell them that. Say, go score a goal. And when they do, brilliant. And when they don't, I told them to score. What do you want me to do? All right, when we come back, EJ Hradek, NHL Network on the Canes and more. Next.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Pack Therapy is in session, thanks to First Horizon Bank. It's Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan, alongside legendary Wolfpack play caller Mike Glennon.
Every episode of Pack Therapy is your chance to get dialed in with inside information on your team.
We'll set you up for every Wolfpack game all season long.
And we'll break down every contest, what went right and what could have worked better.
Plus, special guests to keep Wolfpack hope alive.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts, and watch every episode on YouTube.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and it's never too early to talk about Thursday night football and getting a share of $2 million worth of bonus bets. And here's how you do it. Pick an anytime touchdown scorer from the Broncos-Raiders game Thursday night, and if your guy scores the first or last touchdown, Brock Bowers, Cortland Sutton, you win your bet plus a share of $2 million worth of bonus bets. All you got to do is play. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel.com/AdamGold for bonus bets. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
Will you make the right call? Time's running out, pressure's on, and you need your roof replaced. Hi, I'm Holly from RoofWorks. It's 4th and goal, and the decision's in your hands. The competition can't stop you. You're about to score the game winner. We've trained for years for this moment to raise the roof for you. So avoid the noise and put us in the game. Call RoofWorks today or visit us online at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
It's football season, and let's be honest, your living room doesn't have award-winning wings, a massive beer selection, and over 50 TVs. Carolina Ale House does. We were recently voted one of USA Today's 10 best sports bars, and we need you to help us celebrate. Come get in on this legendary game day experience. Bring your crew, bring your appetite, and get loud with us. Don't fumble your game day plans. Come watch the games at Carolina Ale House. Ale yeah.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean I've got your back. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-294-3311. 800-294-3311.
One Adam Gold. One Adam Gold.
Turtle cake? Like, what do we... What?
Isn't that an ice cream?
What? Where's the confetti cake? Because, hello, confetti cake, delicious. With the little, I don't even know if it's real, but the little dots in the icing, like...
None of these are real.
What kind of fake thing that is, but it's delicious. It's my childhood. Like, that wasn't in the top 10. His opinion's invalid to me.
The Adam Gold Show.
The one and only E.J. Hradek, NHL Network, first shift on a busy hockey Wednesday. He joins us on the Adam Gold Show. I'm feeling pretty good about the Hurricanes at 8-4-0 after a shutout of the Rangers. I think they were good last night. They're not close to their best at this point in the season, but man, they just absolutely shut the Rangers down last night. I don't know how much of that game you caught. I thought the Rangers were bystanders the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, let me just hijack you here for a second. Just say this. The Carolina uniforms they wore last night might be my favorite uniforms in hockey.
Whoa!
I really like those. They're clean. The white jersey. They have the red. Was it the red on the kind of sleeve?
Yeah.
And they have, and I'm not usually a big fan of the red helmet with the white jersey, but like with that uniform, I think the whole thing works great. I love the patches on the shoulders.
Yeah.
I just think that's a great look. The whole uniform is great. And as someone who calls games and sometimes has to call them off the monitor,
yes,
like the clean look of those numbers and names, which aside from just me, not every fan who goes to a game who's sitting up in different parts of the arena has a great view or maybe knows the players all that well. So I just think that's another thing to consider. So,
very nice.
Beautiful uniform. So there you go. I wanted to get that
Thank
in.
you.
But
Maybe
yeah,
the Rangers were admiring them in the third period.
Could have been. Because on the flip side, the Rangers with red numbers on blue jerseys, right? Like, they may not have known who was who. So, that's a possibility. I don't know.
True.
Maybe that's the problem on home ice for the Rangers because, to get shut out in 4 of your first 6 home games and to score just 6 goals in those games, and 5 of them came in one game against San Jose, and they still ended up losing.
Right.
It's kind of hard to imagine. But, Carolina came in and played very well. You're missing some players.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Jacob Slavin has only played a couple of games this year, and, he's a huge part of their team. And Keandre Miller did not play last night, and he's missed some time. I mean, and hey, the goaltender. Chekhov making his debut. That if you want to make your debut, no better time than make it with a shutout. So, it was a really strong performance, and I think once they and also one other thing. How about the first goal of the season for Nikolai Ehlers? That monkey is off his back.
It's about time.
A lot of things went right last night for the Canes for sure.
Yeah, what's interesting about, and I'll go to Kachetkov here. He watched Brandon Bussey play 4 really good games, and he's 3-1. And, not that fan Twitter really matters to what the decisions are made, but they were already talking about, we got to move on from Kachetkov. Bussey is everything. And I'm like, look, Brandon Bussey's been great. But I do recall the same conversation being had about Spencer Martin a year and a half ago. Yeah. And Martin's no longer in the organization because we saw last year that a steady diet of that is not NHL quality. I mean, Martin's, I think, save percentage last year was like .860. Now, Bussey's been very good. Arguably their best goaltender through the first 12 games of the season. But we know Freddie's the number one. But Kachetkov reminded everybody last night that the ceiling for him is very high. What they have to worry about is how far the floor goes. But there was no floor last night. He was awesome. And he's great. Look at his record just against Shesterkin. He's 5-2 with a .936 save percentage just against Igor.
Yeah, that's impressive. Listen, I've liked Kochetkov, since he's come into the league. He's had his ups, he's had his downs. I think you say it really well. I mean, when he plays well, he can play very well. The question is, can he be consistently good? Is there a, is when he goes, if it goes bad, is it just really bad?
Yes.
And so, that's the negative. But, listen, this league, it's so hard to find guys who are consistently good, in goal. I mean, you look around the league, you see it. There's I remember talking to Chuck Fletcher one time, he talked about goalies. They're like pitchers a lot of times. Like one year they're 16-6, and then the next year they're 9-12.
Yeah.
It's and so it is hard. And when you have somebody that's reliable and gives you a consistently good effort all the time, those are the guys that end up being the great goalies. So. But it's a good start for him and a little competition. I'm sure he sees that Bussy is playing well. And Bussy is a guy that played well in the minors and is trying to push into a job in the National Hockey League. So, listen, the competition is good. And for the Canes, who, as I mentioned, had a number of guys that still don't have anywhere near their lineup, was a really impressive performance.
Yeah, the truth is that guys like Slavin and Miller really help Carolina's offense because they're so good defensively. And I think this is actually the under-discussed part of why Carolina hasn't looked Carolina-ish in terms of puck possession, shots on goal, all of that stuff. That wasn't there last night. They just were great defensively. And it leads me into the next part of the discussion, E.J. Hradek. Are the Rangers cooked? Because they looked cooked to me.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I would say. I mean, the strange thing is, when you watch them at home, you quickly come to the conclusion that, to use your word, they're cooked. But then when you notice that they are 6-1-1 on the road and just won their last 3 games on the road after a 4-game road trip where they lost to Calgary to start, but then were able to beat Edmonton, Vancouver, Seattle. You wonder just what is going on at home. They're going to get Vincent Trocheck back at some point. Mm-hmm. I think that will, set their top 6 up a little bit better because they could move him in with Panarin. Panarin has really struggled this year thus far.
Yeah.
And, he plays well with Trocheck. So, you can put those two together. You can put Miller and Zibanejad together. And now all of a sudden you can your team is slotted a little bit better. But, I don't love the roster. I mean, I think Mike Sullivan's got them defending way better. So I think that's a huge plus. I think Shesterkin is still maybe the best goalie in the league, consistently. He is really good. The defense has kind of been, the defensive core there, when you look at them 1 through 6, okay. Not anything special. I think Adam Fox has been okay so far. But that forward group, I mean, their fourth line, when Matt Rempe was healthy, was like a nice fourth line.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is that if your first 3 lines aren't really good, your fourth line does not really matter.
Right.
I mean, a fourth line matters when your first 3 lines are slotted well and that fourth line can go out and bring energy. So I'll be curious. I want to withhold judgment, I guess, until Trocheck comes back and see if he can kind of get Panarin going. Panarin's in a contract year. Zibanejad, earlier in the year, as the Rangers have been really struggling in these home games, I went in the room after a game and Zibanejad was kind of beside himself, just looking into space and just wondering, what it's going to take to get things going. And then they went on the road and had a good road trip. So I don't want to say they're cooked. I mean, look at the division, right? I mean, everybody's top to bottom is tight.
Right.
So, we'll see. I think they're still learning that system a little bit. I think Trocheck comes back. They have the elements to kind of be in games. And if they could just if they can bring their road game home once in a while, I mean, it would be better off. But, I'm not far off the "are they cooked" question.
Right.
So,
the third period at home in a 2-0 hockey game was noticeably without fight, and I thought, and maybe that's just Carolina was that good. But I thought Carolina was good, but I didn't, and Carolina really wasn't pushing forward necessarily for more. So I think they made it a lot more difficult. Let me just get to the other division in the East.
Okay.
Is the Atlantic Division upside down at this point?
It's going to be. I said this on this, the show I do, and I've been saying it to people lately. Is I just think this is going to be a weird season. I mean, we got the Olympics, we got this crazy schedule, and we have so much parity, and teams that have been at the bottom for a while are, those young kids that they've drafted are starting to bubble up. I mean, look at Anaheim out west. I mean, they had another nice win last night against Florida. Cutter Gauthier, 10 goals. I mean, that kid is going to be. I thought he would score 40 goals this year, and he's well on his way. And then you look in the the Atlantic this year, and you got, Montreal and Detroit, kind of at the top of things. They've been, Montreal made the playoffs last year. Detroit has missed the playoffs for several years, but, they both look legitimate. Montreal, I mean, they're never out of a game. They were down 3-0 last night. They rallied to take the lead, ended up losing the lead, going into an overtime situation and shootout. They ended up losing for the first time out of 6 trips into overtime. I'm doing the work on it right now, Adam. I'm trying to figure out percentage of games that's gone to overtime this year. It seems like a higher percentage right now.
Crazy.
Than we're used to. So I just think that the parity is caught up with everybody. And you think 3 or 4 years ago in the Atlantic, right? We knew what it was. It was Tampa, it was Florida, it was Boston.
Right.
And, it was Toronto, and that was it. And then the bottom was, it was Buffalo, Montreal, and Detroit,
right.
and Ottawa. And now those those teams have all gotten better.
Yep.
And, if Florida had their players, I think Florida's still sitting at the top.
I agree.
But they're missing, their number one center, missing a really good defense, and they're missing players. I mean, this is missing their number one winger disturber, so to speak. So, it's a struggle for Florida right now. No matter who you are, you can't lose those kind of players and not have it impact you. But to answer your question, I think the division is kind of upside down, and I won't be, Toronto, I think, I've talked about them a lot over the last 2 years. They're always in the conversation. And last year, so many things went right for them. I still think they have a pretty good team, and I'm of the mind that if they get in the playoffs, the team they have this year could be tougher to deal with because of some of the pieces. But the problem is they might not make the playoffs.
Right.
Just because it's going to be a long, hard year. And I think you could almost say really almost anybody. It's not going to be easy to make the playoffs for any of these teams this year. I just think it's going to be kind of a wild ride.
Yeah, the other thing about Florida, and I want to move on to one more thing before we let EJ Hradek go. The other thing about Florida is that the absence of Barkov has made it more difficult on guys like Sam Reinhart. So I read a really good article about Reinhart when he doesn't have to be the guy is free to just do his thing. But now he's sort of looked at, we need your goals. There's no Kachuk. There's no Barkov. Not that Barkov is, like a McKinnon or McDavid scoring machine, but he makes life so much easier for Reinhart, and that's missing. And they've got a lot of players playing out of position is not the right word, but in terms of responsibility, out of position. Yeah. And it leads more evidence to my thought that if not for fantasy, but if I were drafting the entirety of a healthy NHL, I would take Barkov over everybody. That's McDavid, that's Draisaitl, that's McKinnon, because I think he does more things to help you win than any player in the league. I think he's the best defensive center in the sport, as well as being a great offensive player. Let me ask you one more thing before I have to let EJ Hradek go. We're not hearing any talk about trading Sidney Crosby now, are we?
No, we aren't. No, we aren't.
What a start for them.
And let me tell you, I was one of those people that was wanted to bring it up a lot.
Oh, I want him here.
Yeah, well, just because I just think that I don't blame you. I have so much respect for Sidney Crosby. I mean, when you think about, we've had 25 years of hockey this century, right? A quarter of a century, and he has been the standard bearer. I know McDavid has been unbelievable, but Sidney Crosby has been the standard bearer for this league and just everything he's done. He's one of the top 5 players to ever play the game. He will go down that way when his career is over. And his numbers could even be more prolific when you think about he missed some significant time kind of in the middle of his career with some concussion issues. And thankfully, he was able to recover from those and get back playing. But, I mean, and because of that respect, I don't want to see him waste the final years of his career on a team that's not competitive. But, that said, now they've had a couple of losses in a row. They had a bad loss in Toronto the other night. They're through 14 games. Who knows if any of this stuff is sustainable? But, they've been really competitive. Dan Hughes has come in as the head coach, and I think there's a lot of kind of us against the world. There isn't a lot of rooms, right? When you're a team that's missed the playoffs a couple of years in a row and people are talking about, hey, we should trade, Crosby's got to get out of there. And they should trade Carlson, and Malkin is washed up. And, those goalies, who knows what's going on there. And, this is a team they need to just completely rebuild. In the room, amongst the players and the coaches, Dan Hughes just arrived there. He's not looking to say, hey, let's just lose, let's be okay with losing. He's there to win, and the players are there to win. And Sidney Crosby, is anybody more competitive than him? And Evgeny Malkin has got a lot of motivation right now.
Yeah.
His career contract is up. He wants to continue to play. Money and legacy, or whatever you want to call it, those are strong motivators. So, and they've gotten some good performances from some players you wouldn't have expected. The young Ben Kendall has come in and played well, at least at the start. Their goalies have been very good to start the season. So, that right now they're off to a good start. We shall see if it is sustainable, but got to give them a lot of credit, because nobody was telling me, and me included, nobody is talking about the Penguins being a team that could be a playoff team even. They were a team that were likely going to be out of the playoffs, and it was going to be a fire sale. And the only question is, would Sidney Crosby be willing to move? Because that ultimately will be his decision. And so that was it. So you got to give Dan Hughes and everybody there, a lot of credit, because, they're men like Anthony Mantha, Jason Brazeau. I mean, these are guys, they have a lot to prove.
Yep.
And so they've played well to start the season. So, we'll see where it goes from here, but it's been a good start.
It's been awesome to watch. I have a lot of friends who are Penguins fans, and they are like, I can't believe it either. they did not expect it. The only team that was actively trying to not improve in the offseason has gotten significantly better. That is sports in a nutshell. It's incredible.
So true.
All right,
so
sir.
True.
EJ Hradek, NHL Network, First Shift. Thank you so much at EJ Hradek NHL. Appreciate your time as always. I think I forgot a hyphen in there. There's a hyphen between the K and the NHL.
I don't even know anymore. But you can find it. There you go.
Thanks, man. I appreciate your time. Yes, it's an underscore. It's not a hyphen. It's EJ Hradek _ NHL, whatever. When we come back, a little bit of a rewind. Plus, what are the odds, like percentages, that the Panthers make the playoffs? We can simulate that because math. Next.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and it's never too early to talk about Thursday night football and getting a share of $2 million worth of bonus bets. And here's how you do it. Pick an anytime touchdown scorer from the Broncos-Raiders game Thursday night, and if your guy scores the first or last touchdown, Brock Bowers, Cortland Sutton, you win your bet plus a share of $2 million worth of bonus bets. All you got to do is play. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS for bonus bets. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
As a school nurse, I feel like we're really that contact for the schools between the Department of Public Health and what goes on in the school system.
The face of the Department of Public Health in our school is our nurse, Nurse Emma. All the communication that she was receiving and direction she was receiving, she made sure to communicate with us and be a wonderful partner with us.
These kids need their routines.
NC Public Health. Everywhere, every day, everyone.
Are you looking for a 2-year hands-on agricultural degree while still gaining the university experience? I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University. We offer 6 associate's degrees that span the agricultural industry and set our students up to meet their goals. Come live on campus, learn on our farms, and be a part of the NC State community. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we dive into a project that's making big waves in Charlotte and beyond. It's called The Pearl, a bold reimagining of how healthcare, education, and innovation come together. My guest, Hillary Crittenden, leads operations for The Pearl and has played an important role in its growth and development.
The Pearl is an innovation district. We brought together medical education, cutting-edge research, and really big and small players in the healthcare space who are advancing science in a really interesting way, all together in one place.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
This is Adam Gold.
The American Cornhole League. I don't know if you can wager on it. Let me go to FanDuel and find out if you can wager on it.
I think I read you can get a scholarship. Kids in high school can actually get scholarships for cornholing. Who knows? I don't know what the technical term
I'm just not going to say anything.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Max Gorin producing the program. So I mentioned that you can figure out the probability that the Panthers make the playoffs. Right now, according to The Athletic, the Panthers have a 19% chance of making the playoffs. Max Gorin, as a Panthers fan, if I had told you in September, Labor Day, hey, Max, when we get to November, the Panthers would have a 1 in 5 chance of making the playoffs, what would you have said?
I'll take that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where we are right now. 19% chance of making the playoffs.
The betting markets are actually a little bit more bullish on them making it right now, at least on FanDuel, which is the book that we use for our NFL stock trading. The Panthers are at plus 245 to make the playoffs. If you plug that into an implied probability calculator, that puts them at about 29% to make it. So Vegas is a little bit more bullish on the Panthers to make the postseason, more like a slightly better than 1 in 4 chance.
Remember what the betting market is, what the betting market tries to do.
It's more reactionary to like what people would actually...
Plays on emotions.
Yeah.
And the whole goal of the betting market is to get equal action on both sides. So they're not exposed, right? That's what the betting lines are for, to just generate enough action on both sides to where it's basically even. It's never going to be completely even, but it's close enough. So if you simply plug in a Panthers win over the Saints Sunday, that number goes up to 25%. 1 in 4. Add the win over the Falcons, and now we are at 41% make the playoffs.
Is there a way to calculate that along with if the Buccaneers were to lose their next 2 games?
I think their simulator here and I'm sure there is, but their simulator here takes into account the probability of whatever happens, what they think is going to happen there. And I think and I don't know what that is. I don't know. Well, I guess it's a much more complicated article than I'm giving you, because there is a way to do that, but I have not spent enough time on it. I find the whole thing fascinating. You give the Panthers wins in these two games, losses against the 49ers and Rams, and then a win over the Saints, and it brings us to 34%.
Oh, I've found the site, and I'm able to plug in Buccaneers losses to the Patriots and Bills, and that upticks it slightly to 42%. So really not much of an effect.
Because I don't, as I said this before, I don't think it's about at all. I don't think it's about the division. It's about the wild card to me, because it's about getting to 10 wins, really. And then if you give them the win over the Buccaneers in their 16th, their week 16, it jumps it to 60% make the playoffs if they were to win 4 of their next 6 games. That Buccaneers game, that first Buccaneers game, is at home. So all good. All right, one more thing, and then if we have time, we will rewind. There's a lot of NFL trades made yesterday, and 2 giant ones. And I don't want to diminish, by the way, the Seahawks getting the wide receiver from the Saints. That's a good pickup for them. They gave up almost nothing. But the Jets made 2 major trades and acquired 3 first-round picks, a second, and 2 players from, respectively, the Colts for Sauce Gardner, the cornerback, and the Cowboys for Quinnen Williams, the defensive tackle. By the way, if you were the Cowboys, would you have traded Micah Parsons for Quinnen Williams?
No.
That's what they did. That's what Dallas did. The only benefit for them doing that is cost certainty. Quinnen Williams is already being paid, and it's going to be less than whatever Micah Parsons is going to get paid. End of discussion. So, yeah, did they save money? Yeah. Did they get better? No, they did not. And Dallas is not going to make the playoffs, by the way. So anyway, Louis Riddick from ESPN on what Sauce Gardner gives the Colts.
As far as what this does for them defensively with Sauce was this. He gives them a movable chess piece.
Yep.
He's a guy you can go ahead and stick on number ones and say, hey, look, I need you to dog this guy all over the football field. Look, as far as the penalties and the holdings over the past couple of years, one of the things that Lou, I'm sure, and Aruma, the defensive coordinator, will do is back him off a little bit, let him play with more eyes, and not have him up on the line of scrimmage doing this all the time. Because when you're out there and you're charged with covering the team's number 1 wide receiver in press, you're going to get some holding penalties because it's hand-to-hand combat, play after play after play. His skill level hasn't diminished. They'll give him a little bit of a break. The Colts are set up right now, though,
yes,
man.
They are.
Chris Ballard, hey, look, he went from being a guy who many people wanted to run out of Indy.
Yep.
So now all of a sudden you're going, okay, you're making some moves.
Look, I think what I read about what the Colts will likely do is play a lot more zone coverage for Gardner. He is still an elite player. He's not the consistent player he was a little bit earlier in his career. He's probably not a Patrick Surtain or a Stingley, right? He's not that, because those guys are far more consistent performers.
Or J.C. Horn.
I think there's some similarities there.
I think J.C. Horn is better.
Well, okay then.
Because Sauce Gardner takes all of those, and they talk about it, and Louis Riddick talked about it in the cut there, but. Sauce Gardner gets penalized a lot more than J.C. Horn. They don't even throw towards J.C. Horn anymore.
Well, who did recently? was it the
to the tune of
the Jets?
A couple interceptions.
Was it the Jets?
The Jets.
The Jets didn't read the game plan. Look, Horn has been great. He has been great. I think they're similar players. I think both of them are top 5 players at their position, but they're not the best at their position.
Yeah, no, they're definitely slightly below Pat Surtain, Derek Stingley.
And that's cool. I think the Jets made the right move, and if I were them, I would make that move every single day. When you can trade a non-quarterback who has been in the league for 4 or 5 years, and you can get multiple firsts, you do that.
Multiple firsts from a team that's also might not make the playoffs this year. Probably won't make the playoffs.
Well, Dallas won't.
Yeah.
The Dallas pick, they get a second this year. Well, it'll be a high second pick. And
Is
a
it the
first,
Green Bay first
next year. And by the way, when Dallas conveys the first round pick in the 27 draft, it's the better draft pick of theirs or Green Bay's. So that's worked into the trade. So the Jets would choose which one they want.
So the Jets get the better pick.
Correct.
So if Dallas is bad again next year, they'll have a top 16 pick or whatever it is.
And who knows what the Colts are going to be, because the Jets are getting 2 Colts first-round picks. So the Colts this year obviously going to be very good. Hey, look, if Daniel Jones walks past the mirror and they don't win a playoff game, that pick will be in the mid-20s, high 20s. Like 25, 26, something like that. That's fine. You can get a good player in the first round. Jets certainly going to be picking very early. And I keep hearing this about the Jets, and we talk way too much about them. But this is more indicative of any team. I would say this about any team. If you've got multiple kicks at the draft, don't bundle the picks and go up to one to take a quarterback and then force him onto the field, and then 3 years later realize he's not the right quarterback. So the joke I made, Max, on Twitter yesterday was this. Jets have all these draft picks. They are gearing up to draft the next quarterback of the future for the Seattle Seahawks. Because that's what they've done. Geno Smith, Sam Darnold. Both have been great for Seattle.
Yeah, high draft picks are great until you get it in the hands of someone without good asset management, and then it's
I
much
say
a waste.
This all the time. My biggest problem with the Panthers doing what they did with Bryce Young was not about drafting Bryce Young. I still think Bryce Young can be a good quarterback. There are a lot of people who are down on Bryce. I am not one of those people, but it doesn't matter. What I said at the time and what I believed in my heart was that it's idiotic to do what they did. Don't trade from 9 to 1 to draft what you hope will be if it's Andrew Luck sitting there when the whole world knew how good Andrew Luck was, yeah, that's okay. If it's Cam Newton sitting there, fine. But it wasn't. It wasn't either of those. Don't make that risk for somebody who might not be the guy. And obviously the jury is very much still out on whether or not he is the guy. Although some people think it's in and he's not, and that's just as bad. Max, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. I am Adam Gold. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim. I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm